Network. We've got some 6A Region 4 district action in store for you tonight. It's homecoming night here at the Inferno as the Stewarts Creek Redhawks come to town to face the Blackman Blaze. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome inside the broadcast booth here. It's the MTN broadcast booth. I'm Noah Brady, your play-by-play man for this evening, joining by my broadcast partner, color commentator Zachary Lund. Zach, we've got some region action in store tonight. What are you looking forward to most in tonight's matchup?
Just the energy, because this is a must-win game for both teams. For instance, Stewarts Creek, they have never beaten Blackman. In their 4 games that they've played against them, they are 0-4. So that is an added motivation, but both these teams come in 0-1 in the district play. So this is a must-win, because if you go 0-2 in district play, from here on out, it's a must-win every time out, and you can't afford to lose, or you are probably eliminated from the playoffs.
You're depending on other teams to lose, and you've also got to win out at this point if you lose this game. But like we said, it's homecoming night. We had some rain earlier in the Middle Tennessee area. How are we going to see these wet conditions play a factor in tonight's matchup?
So it's actually funny, because last week it was ground and pound for both teams. When you look at Stewarts Creek, their whole offense runs through Gabriel Walker. Last week he had 18 carries, 219 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Basically all of their offense. He for the whole year, he has 36 carries for 334 yards. Then you look at Pleasant for Blackman. Again, the times we've had him, he had a good gains, but he didn't really explode, because Coach beginning of the year, Coach Tigard said, look for Pleasant to explode.
We definitely were focused more on that 2 quarterback look for the Blackman Blaze offense.
Well, last week he had 21 carries, 117 yards, and 2 total touchdowns. So he got involved early, and it helped the Blackman offense. Now, the spots to look out for is the defense. Last week, Blackman allowed 42 points in the first half. So Blackman ran 17 more plays than Summit. So on the field, they were quick plays from Summit, quick touchdown drives. So if you are Blackman today, you are going to be looking at Cole Reed. He's had himself on the defensive side of the ball. He has 22 tackles, 16 of them have been solos tackles, and he already has 5 tackles for loss. Someone to look out for on the interior defensive line, Mason Russell. 1 sack on the year, and he already has 3 tackles for loss. And setting the edge for Blackman is Kayvon Henderson, 2 sacks, 1 pass deflection, and 6 total tackles on the year. If Blackman wants to win tonight, all 3 of those guys, they're going to have to step up big. Now, when you look at Stewarts Creek side of the ball, Jarian Dunlap Jr. is averaging 8 tackles per game. He already has 14 solo tackles on the season, and he also has a pass deflection. Brandon Jarrett on the defensive line already has recorded a sack in each of the Redhawks' first 2 games. And those are his 2 tackles for loss. So these defenses are going to have to step up tonight.
Zach, like you said, Stewarts Creek has only been able to play in 3 games so far this year. 2 of their games being canceled. They've only had 1 win that they've been able to pick up, and they got that just last week. But how important is it for the Blaze here? We got to talk about this for a second. The Blaze, after tonight, have 1 home game left, and they finish out the rest of their season on the road. How important is this game tonight here on homecoming night in the Inferno?
Well, Coach Tigard actually said this is one of the more toned-down games because of the crowd and the atmosphere and the expectations. When you play Brentwood and when you play Ravenwood, that's going to bring big crowds. And so when you look at tonight, if you are Blackman, I mean, you just gotta excuse me, I'm sorry, I was fumbled over my words just a little bit. If you're Blackman, just go out there and you have to win these. You have to win your home games, especially in district play.
You got to make the most of it at home. You got to make the most of it at home before you go on the road, because especially when you're finishing the game out away from the Inferno for the Blaze, that's going to be important confidence and going to be huge momentum going into that last stretch, especially with a lot of conference play.
Definitely.
When we come back, we will have kickoff here on the NFHS Network. This is the MTN Sports Game of the Week.
Here at MTN Sports, you could say we're a bit competitive.
All right, boys, I got a media pass for the big game this weekend. Who's covering it? 6 feet apart. Fight! 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me guess. Who's shooting this weekend? The funny thing is, I've got 2. Oh!
I'm going to that game.
on the NFHS network. We've got the Blaze and the Red Hawks in the Inferno tonight. It's homecoming night for the Blaze, and look at that huge banner. Zach, Coach Tygard was telling us a little bit about that banner. He was saying that was something that he got from coaching in Alabama, in North Alabama high school football. The cheerleaders would paint the big, huge banner every game coming into the week, and this is actually one that they've had prepared for all season. They use this same banner, and it's the same one that the Blaze run out of every single week.
Yeah, definitely, and it brings excitement to the fans. When you see your team run out there, that is when you, as Blackman, again, Baby Blaze we're talking about, that's when they get their energy. That's when their energy starts. But they have to control their energy. That, as you see the smoke, actually, they talked about that coming from the fire department.
Yeah, that smoke is from the Murfreesboro Fire Department. Just we can see it in our shot almost. If you look over to the right, you can see the Murfreesboro Fire Department back there in the right. The Blaze actually had lunch with the fire department today, and then as you said, the smoke is provided, and wow, look at it, it's just filling up in between the band there. They're going to lose some of their instruments if they're not careful. I don't know if they can even read the music that's in front of them, but yeah, like you said, the Murfreesboro Fire Department having a huge impact here with the Blaze. I love the partnership. Coach Tygard's been talking about that. He's establishing that year zero kind of mentality, building this program up from the ground, starting fresh with this Baby Blaze team.
Yes, and we have seen that multiple times. Again, this is the third time we've seen them this year. They come out and they're so excited that they make mental mistakes very early on in the games. And against Brentwood, it didn't hurt them. They were able to come back and throw in those mental errors and then, excel for the second and third quarters. But then against Riverdale, that is when it just really hurt them. They weren't able to get to a rhythm at all on offense. And as you see now, they're going to get the ball and start off. So can they, in a big game, control their emotions, start the game?
As you said, Zach, it looks as if Blackman has won the toss and they have elected to receive the first half kick. So the Stewarts Creek Red Hawks are out for the kick. And we are just about set for action here as the ball is on the tee at the 40-yard line and we're getting set. Zach, what are some of your keys for the Stewarts Creek Red Hawks, the visiting team here tonight? We've been talking about the Blaze, we've been talking about Baby Blaze and Coach Tygard. What about for the Creek? What do they have to do tonight?
They have to control the ball and can control the tempo and control the pace of the game. And that's what they have done. Against Smyrna, yes, they lost. It was 16-14, but they did a good job of controlling the tempo, and that was a very close game until the end. Then last week they controlled the tempo the whole time, and they just had a field day. So, again, if they can just control what they want with Gabriel Walker, if Gabriel Walker can just keep doing what he has been doing, then he gets the Stewarts Creek chances to beat almost anyone in this district, if not anyone.
Number 10, Upton Belafont, the senior kicker, is out for the kick, and he's going to send it away, and it looks as if it's going to go through the back of the end zone for a touchback. So the Blackman Blaze here at home on homecoming night will start out 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. There is a flag on the play, though, so we'll wait to hear the call.
So after the play on Stewarts Creek, they're going to get some very good field position. Oh, excuse me, they offset. So there was a unsportsmanlike conduct on both Stewarts Creek and Blackman there. So a little chippy to start the game.
We're seeing a little chippiness, and we kind of expected that. It's district action, and it's homecoming night. We're expecting a little bit of chippy play here.
Yes. But again, if you're Blackman and Stewarts Creek, you just have to control it. You use that energy and the momentum into your advantage. Don't get too excited and make a mental mistake, or don't get too excited and too emotional that you make another mental mistake, for instance, like an unsportsmanlike conduct foul.
1st down and 10, it's going to be a handoff to the left-hand side, and he's got a little bit of room as he's across the 30 out to the 33-yard line where he is tackled after picking up enough yardage for a 1st down.
And right there, that was Donovan Holloway. Holloway, he took that hole that was in that C gap that the left tackle created for him there, and just exploded through it. And now they're getting back up to the line for that up-tempo style.
Up-tempo look indeed, 1st and 10, and it is going to be number 1, Jalen Pleasant on the run. He's going to break that first tackle, but then he's going to be dropped in the backfield for what appears to be a loss of about 4 on the play. They're going to call him down at the 29-yard line. It's going to be a 2nd and about 14.
So they ran that same play with Pleasant, and the Stewarts Creek defense was there, and they were ready for it. As now you're seeing another quick QB change.
Quick QB change, and that's going to bring in number 10, Peyton Thomas and he's going to look to run immediately, and he's got a little bit of room. He's out across the 35 to the 40. To the 45, he's at midfield where he's going to be tackled, and he's going to be brought down harshly at about the 49-yard line. We'll call him down at midfield. 1st and 10, though, for the Blaze.
That was a good job by that offensive line of Blackman. They were able to get to that second level. As soon as Thomas brought it down to run, they were already 2-3 yards down the field, and that is what really opened up that gap through that B gap right there.
Reisner back in the game at the quarterback spot. He's in the shotgun for the Blaze. 1st and 10 for the Blaze. He's going to fake the handoff and drop back, and he's going to overthrow his man at the 40-yard line. And it's going to fall for an incomplete pass. It's going to set up a 2nd and 10.
Yes, and that was intended for Ben Marshall. And as we talked earlier in the year, he was one of the players that Coach Tygart highlighted. And on the year, he has 18 catches and 184 yards so far. So they have started to really utilize him in the passing attack, that big, tall frame.
They're going to send him in motion from right to left, and Reisner's going to drop back to throw. That's going to be Peyton Thomas, and he's going to have a completion all the way out to the 32-yard line, deep into Red Hawk territory. 1st down for the Blaze.
And then that is the star receiver, Justin Brown. Justin Brown right there, he ran a little bit of a end to the midfield, and he stopped his route, and Thomas pointed to the outside shoulder. So when Brown turned, Thomas threw it right on that shoulder, which was move the chains.
1st and 10, Peyton Thomas staying at the quarterback spot, and he's going to air it out to the end zone where he's got his man for a Blackman Blaze touchdown.
There it is, and you see the emotion right there. They went straight to Brown. Brown, again, we saw in the very first game of the year, he had 4 touchdowns. He had over 200 yards receiving. He's really good at creating that separation. He's a very tough matchup assignment for anyone, as that is already, I'm pretty sure, his 6th touchdown of the year.
And that was Peyton Thomas. Usually when the Blaze are going for those long shots, they have Reisner back in there at the shotgun. But we saw Peyton Thomas not only deliver a beautiful strike, but wow, he put some air underneath that ball.
Yes, he did, and that was maybe a partially underthrown as Brown had his man beat deep, but Brown did a good job of high-pointing the ball, going up, and ripping the ball away from the defender. That's a very, very quick touchdown score.
Very quick touchdown score indeed, as we're at the 9:58 mark as he snaps for the extra point, and it is up and good as the Blaze jump out to an early 7-0 lead. How important is that quick strike there for the Blaze?
That was big. That's now the momentum goes to Blackman's side, as they had, again, they gave up, 28 points last week before they scored their first touchdown. So now here they go. They have the lead, and what can they do with it?
They have the lead, and they have momentum, and we'll be right back with more. This is the MTN Sports Game of the Week here on the NFHS Network.
Nothing is more expensive than a missed opportunity that could have changed your life. Maybe you're just graduating high school, or are working and need to earn a degree to advance your career. Or you aspire to be a leader, and a graduate degree can make that happen. Whether you're just starting out.
Welcome back to the MTN Sports Game of the Week here on the NFHS Network as Blackman has the kickoff and the Stewarts Creek return man.
Is that going to be a...
I believe they are going to call it a touchback as
no, he's down at the 1.
Oh, they are calling.
His forward momentum took him down at the 1.
It looked at first as if though he was down in the end zone, but yes, you are correct. They're going to mark him down as what the PA announcer has just called the 2-yard line, where Stewarts Creek is going to be pinned back deep to begin their first drive. So again, we saw that early momentum from a huge score early on from the Blaze, and now their defense starting out in opportune position to possibly get a score of their own.
Yes, but this is an area where if you're Stewarts Creek, they can have the possession of the ball here for about 7-8 minutes. The way that their offense is set up, give the ball to Walker every time and just see, I mean, he's going to get 3-4 yards to carry. He is that good. But if you're about to throw it, look for Munavong. Munavong has 9 catches on the year of the 12 receptions.
Gage Hoover, the junior quarterback, is going to hand it off on first down, and he's going to get about 4 on the play as he's out to across the 5 to the 6-yard line. It's going to set up about a 2nd and 6 with 9:50 to go here in the first quarter.
And that was Walker's very first carry of the game. And again, he's so big and strong that he was carrying defenders. He first got hit at the 1 yard line, but he carried defenders 4 yards for that 3-yard gain.
As Stewarts Creek comes to the line, it is 2nd and 6 to go as they are pinned at the 6-yard line. As Hoover tries to draw him off sides, and he looks to get the signal from the sideline. Sends a man in motion from left to right, and he's going to hand it off to number 21, and he's got a little bit of room. He's going to shed a tackle and get out to the 10-yard line. It's going to set up a 3rd and short. We'll call it a 3rd and 2.
So that's about another 5-yard gain, and that's what they do. They get Walker in position to where he's going to the outside into. When he was going to sweep, he already had his momentum going towards that left side, so he was able to get to that second level faster than he would, for instance, to stand in the backfield.
Zach, we've got 2 unique styles of offense, just been able to tell early on. Up-tempo Blaze offense, and then this Stewarts Creek offense seems to be getting the signal from the sideline before every play. They're taking their time and trying to execute early on.
Yes, and look at the bottom of your screen. You have one-on-one coverage with little to no help, so if they throw the ball, this fumble.
Hoover sends a man in motion, and he is going to fumble it on the play as he's going to be marked down at the 9-yard line, and that's going to set up a 4th down and 3. So the Blaze execute early on, and we'll see what Stewarts Creek does here on their first 4th down.
And that was going for Tane Munavong. As we were talking about earlier, he is their other playmaker that Stewarts Creek has, and there wasn't a clean exchange there. So now Blackman got a quick stop.
A quick stop indeed, and this punt is a huge play because this is going to set up Blackman's field position for their second drive, coming off that huge touchdown to start the game.
But you were talking about the differences in styles. Stewarts Creek is more of a ground and pound team. They are, again, they just went 3 and out, but they almost took 2 minutes off the clock. As
Stewarts Creek is going to send it up to about the 50-yard line where it will be fielded cleanly.
That's
and
Justin
a fair
Brown.
pitch will be called for, and that's where the Blaze will set up for their second drive of the game.
There's going to be a penalty because that's going to be illegal motion or illegal shift because that man coming back on for Stewarts Creek was never set before the ball was snapped. You have to be set for a second before, and he was still running backwards when the ball was snapped.
So that means that the Blaze will start out in Red Hawk territory for their second drive here as we get the call from tonight's official.
Illegal shift.
Oh, so there was a second foul on the play, and that was also on the Blaze. So those penalties will be offset, and the play will stand as called. So the Blaze will start out at the midfield mark.
Now they're actually going to repunt that.
They are going to, okay, so they're going to set up again. So it's 4th down and 3, and we'll do it again.
So that was a personal foul penalty on Blackman. Again, they had a chance at a very good field position there, probably inside the 45-yard line of Stewarts Creek, but now Stewarts Creek's going to have time to set themselves and maybe get off a better punt for.
Zach, you talked about the discipline for the Blaze. How important is that here on this play early on?
It's because you have Stewarts Creek backed up deep, and you don't want to commit something such as running into the punter and give Stewarts Creek another first down when you're going to have very good field position.
Snap and a kick and a fair catch has been called for once again at the 50-yard line. We'll call them at the 48 is where they'll mark it down, and that's where the Blaze will set up shop here with a hot offense, a blazing hot offense, as you will. They got off to a quick start here, 7-0 lead early on with 7.5 minutes to go here in the first quarter.
Yeah, definitely. So what they did was they went to Brown back-to-back plays. They are looking to stop the run right now. Stewarts Creek was very early. They were saying, you're not going to beat us with the run. Well, that caused one-on-one coverage for Justin Brown at the which is now at the bottom of your screen, and there was no safety help. So Thomas took the shot, and again, he was rewarded with a touchdown.
And they are going to play his zone. They're going to set up a wide receiver screen to Brown on the bottom of your screen, and he's going to get down close to the first down marker. We'll call him down at the 41-yard line to set up a 2nd and 1 on the play.
So right there, that was just a wide receiver screen. They got the ball out quick, and it was just Thomas again. Excuse me, it was
Reisner
to Brown, and Brown was able to make a few men miss, and now it's 2nd and short.
We've seen that wide receiver screen from Blackman a lot as Peyton Thomas is in the game now, and he's going to hand it off to the left side, and he's got some room. He's going to get the first down and some more down to about the 32-yard line.
And that was Jalen Pleasant. Pleasant right there, he's found the hole, and he found that hole through the C gap right there, and he just lowered his head, and he went through it and was able to gain that big gain. And they're now getting chunks right now, this Blackman offense is.
Huge chunk plays as Peyton Thomas stays in the game. He sends a man in motion from left to right, and he's going to hand it off again. Just kidding. He's going to keep it and then pitch it to the right side where he's got a first down and some more. That fooled me. I know it fooled the Stewarts Creek defense.
Definitely. So right there, that was just a fake handoff, and he went as a QB option, and he waited to the very last second to pitch that to the outside man, who it looked like that was number 27, Anthony Collier. And Collier did the right thing of getting out of bounds, getting what he could and getting out of bounds, and now they're back up to the line really quick.
Reisner in the shotgun. He's going to set up to throw, and he's got a man at about the 10-yard line, and he's going to work his way down. That's huge tight end Ben Marshall. He's going to work his way down inside the 3-yard line. They're going to call him down at about the 1, I believe.
So right there, Marshall found the soft spot in the defense. He set up, and Reisner made a great throw right on the money. And Marshall is tough to bring down again. Look at him. He is, I think, 6'4" at the official listed height, and he's just big and he's strong. And he was able to take those two defenders for a couple
He's able
yards.
to find open space in midfield as Reisner pitches it back to the halfback, and he's going to walk it in for a Blaze touchdown.
Right there, Pleasant walked in. That gap, that hole, was as big as the highway. What a great play call there from the Blackman coaching staff.
Coach Tygart and his offense are having success early as we're at the 6.5-minute mark. Extra point pending. It's about to be 14-0 in favor of the Blaze.
Actually, it looks like they're going to go for 2.
They are going to set up for 2 as Reisner's ready for the snap. He's got his whole offensive line and more on the right side as it's going to be fumbled on the play. And Stewarts Creek.
In high school, you cannot take the run back the 2-point conversion. It is dead as soon as Stewarts Creek picks it up.
Thank you for catching that, my friend, because I had no idea what was going on out there for a second. I was like, what's he doing? And with the extra point failed, the score stands at Blackman 13, Stewarts Creek 0. We're at the 6.5-minute mark. We'll be back with more with the MTN Sports Game of the Week here on the NFHS Network.
Here at MTN Sports, you could say we're a bit competitive.
All right, boys, I got a media pass for the big game this weekend. Who's covering it? 6 feet apart. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me guess. Who's shooting this weekend? The funny thing is, I've got 2.
I'm going to that game.
Welcome back to the MTN Sports Game of the Week here on the NFHS Network. Blackman on back-to-back opening drives has a early 13-0 lead as they have been effective through the ground and through the air. Just whatever they're doing, it's working against the Red Hawks defense right now. As the kick is going to go through the back of the end zone, and it's going to be a touchback, and the Blaze are going to start out again. The Red Hawks are going to start out at the 20-yard line.
And right there, that was Miles Torrey with the kickoff, and he has been exceptional when we've seen him.
We've seen it in pregame today. Our jaws were dropped as we were watching both of these kickers and punters for this team. Special teams going to play a huge impact in tonight's game for sure.
And I don't know who the Stewarts Creek coach is, but he was nailing 60-yard field goals before the game started.
The Stewarts Creek special teams head coach, as he was walking off the field, just said, I'm just going to put one through the uprights for fun. 1st and 10 here for the Red Hawks offense. Is this going to be a handoff to the left-hand side to number 21, and he's got a little bit of room as he's across the 25, and he's going to be brought down hard at about the 29-yard line. That was Dyson Bell. That was Gabriel Walker on the run.
And I don't know if he got brought down or if Walker threw down the Blackman defender. That was a nasty stiff arm. Walker, he got met, and we're at the peak, and no one was going anywhere. Then Walker just took his right hand and just shoved the man to the ground. What a great stiff arm.
Either way, there was a huge collision on the play as the officials are now going to give them the first down. So the Red Hawks they will have the first down marker as we have a whistle on the field. As the official was just talking to a Blaze defender just for a second. We'll do it again. 1st and 10 here on the 30-yard line. He's going to fake the handoff and keep it up the middle, and he's going to have some room as he's across the 35 down to the 37-yard line. A 7-yard gain on first down sets up a 2nd and 3 with 6 minutes to go.
That was a great play design there because they had Walker come back across the formation, and as soon as a snap, he faked that toss to Walker and then put his head down and was able to get those 8 yards. So big first down gain, and now Stewarts Creek looks like they're getting a little bit of momentum.
A little bit of up-tempo here, and they're going to need it. They need to get back in this one and in a hurry. He's going to send a man in motion from right to left. He's going to snap, and it's going to be a handoff up the middle. Gain of about 4, enough for the first down gain, out to about the 42-yard line.
And was that Walker? That is Walker. And Walker is one of those bruiser-type running backs where those 3-4-yard gains in the first quarter end up becoming 7-8-yard gains at minimum in the 3rd and 4th quarters. So you may so he has actually been really successful so far tonight, but you look for them to stay with this running attack because this is a very, very talented running back that they have in Walker.
A very talented backfield indeed. Walker being at the heart of it. It's going to be a 1st and 10 for the Red Hawks, as it's going to be a fake handoff, and he's going to roll out to the right. He's got his man in the backfield, and he's got some room across the 45 out to about the 48-yard line. That's going to be number 3 on the play, Nathan Hampton, the senior.
That was a good play design right there. They had Nathan Hampton, QB there, Hoover, running to the right. Hoover, very simple throw and catch to Hampton, and another good first down gain.
A good first down gain indeed, as it's going to set him up with a 2nd and short.
They're staying ahead of the sticks right now.
They are indeed. And Hoover, we don't see him throw all that much. We didn't see him throw that much last week as the running game seemed to be very dominant for Stewarts Creek. If it's working, why move away from it?
Coming into this game, he had 12 pass attempts on the year.
12 pass attempts on the year, and they've played in 3 games already this season. 2 games, excuse me. It's going to be a handoff to the left side, and he's going to shake the defender, and he's going to cut back the other way, and he is going to get some positive yardage on this play as he's across midfield down to about the 48-yard line in Blaze territory now.
And there's Munavong, one of the guys that we highlighted in the open. He did a good job there. There was nothing on that left-hand side, and he was able to break the contain and reverse field as you saw a big block from Hoover there. And now they have a 3rd and 1 opportunity. So you have 2 chances right here for your Stewarts Creek to hand off to Walker and just get 1 yard.
You've got 2 chances here, but how about that missed tackle by the Blaze defender? That's a huge play to miss here early in this game, as that could have set up a huge 3rd and long.
Yeah, that is. But again, Munavong is a very good player, and he was able to. It was more of a contain from that right end for Blackman. So Munavong was able to stiff arm his way out of it and was able to reverse his field.
Nathan Hampton goes in motion as Hoover gets the snap, and he's going to give the handoff straight up the middle again, and he's going to be stuffed. That's going to be Gabriel Walker getting blown up at the line of scrimmage, backed up, and it's going to set up a 4th down for the Red Hawks back at the 48-yard line.
And it looks like that was David Wilkinson that laid the lick on, Walker. Walker looked like he was, and yes, so it's going to be about a 4th and half a yard. So Walker looked like he was going to be able to lower his head and get that yard, but Wilkinson came back in and he delivered the hit. It was Wilkinson and, Cole Reed on the tackle there. I think that was Reed and Wilkinson together was able to push Walker back, and then that's when you saw the likes of Mason Russell and you saw Kayvon Henderson get in on the tackle.
4th and inches, and here we go. They're going to pound it right up the middle, and he's going to have enough for the first down.
He was not going to be denied that time.
He was not going to be denied that time, and he was marked down at the 43-yard line after a gain of about 5. First down, Stewarts Creek.
Again, he was the man at the line of scrimmage, and this time he was able to lower his head and run over that initial defender and get the yards that he needed for the first down.
They'll move the chains as the Red Hawks sub in some O-linemen here. Looks like a new right tackle will be coming in.
That's Nate Lewis.
First and 10 for the Red Hawks. So, Zach, earlier on this possession, we saw them move with some tempo. They're slowing it down a little bit now here in enemy territory.
Yeah, so as this is only their second drive, so again, they do a good job of controlling the pace and controlling the tempo. That is what their game plan is.
First and 10, he's going to fake the handoff and roll out to the left-hand side where he's going to rear back and try and get a pass off, and he's going to be blown up back in Red Hawk territory down at the 47-yard line. A huge 7-yard sack on the play.
And it looked like that was Jalen Brown on the tackle. Jalen Brown and Kayvon Henderson. Henderson set the edge, and that allowed Brown to come back in from the secondary, from the nose tackle position and take down Hoover for that big first down loss. That's a loss of about 10 yards. Again, we highlighted the interior defensive line and the defense and the edge of Kayvon Henderson as something to look out for today. As if Blackman's going to win, they need to set the edge and they need to control the interior defensive line. As you've seen multiple times already, Blackman is winning the battle.
And Brown is getting in that backfield. Impressive two-way performer for sure for the Blaze. He's going to set up a halfback screen, and he's got some room. He's going to get the first down and more as he's across the 30, down to the 20, down to the 10, and he's going to walk it in for a Stewarts Creek Red Hawks touchdown. And the Red Hawks are back in it. So huge momentum play for the Blaze, but wow, Stewarts Creek answers right there.
What great play design and what great discipline there from Stewarts Creek. Stewarts Creek's offensive linemen let the rushers of Blackman, the front seven of Blackman, get past them, and then it was a very easy Hoover to Walker screen pass, and Walker nobody touched Walker as the downfield blocking was exceptional from the wide receivers to the offensive linemen. Great play design, great execution, and now they're back into the game.
Upton Belafont for the extra point, and it is going to be up and good by a mile as that man has plenty of leg, as that's going to make it 13-7 as the Blaze still lead here in the Inferno. Wow, what a turn of events, though, for the Red Hawks. Huge sack on the play on second down and long, and it turns into a touchdown pass more than 50 yards long. We'll call it like 52, 53-yard touchdown screen pass from Hoover to Walker.
Again, and that came from the discipline of that Stewarts Creek offensive line. They allowed the rushers, the pass rushers there to go through the gaps, go through that A and B and C gap. When they got through it, Hoover stayed in the pocket, waited for the play to develop, and then tossed it over the defensive lineman to Walker. And the downfield blocking from Stewarts Creek was, again, like I said, exceptional. So now they have they got this touchdown off of it. So now it's 13-7.
13-7, and Zach, before the game, I came up to you and I said, I think this is going to be a defensive shootout. I think I might be biting my tongue a little bit now. It looks like we've got a little bit of an offensive shootout on our hands here tonight.
I mean, I wouldn't say that too quick. Again, this is the first quarter, and Stewarts Creek has the capability to hold the ball for 7-8 minutes. They have the ability to limit the possessions. That's why they are so good when they're ahead.
And we're going to see how disciplined and how sound these Red Hawks are on defense now, as we can see if the Red Hawks are able to stop Blackman here for the first time tonight. They have been successful, and they've been moving the ball with tempo here early on. 1:48 to go here in the first quarter, and here's the kickoff. It's going to be a line drive kick, and it's going to sail through the end zone and be a touchback on the play as Ben Marshall lets that one go back there with Jalen Brown. First and 10 for the Blaze at the 20-yard line.
I think that was Justin Brown.
Justin Brown, excuse me, yes.
Yeah, no. Again, that was probably a good decision.
Tapping into my Titans personnel. I was thinking about Jayon and Jalen Brown as well.
Well, Jalen Brown had the big sack last drive, so I think that's where it came from.
Yes, it was a combination of everything.
Good decision there to let that one roll through. That was going to be tough to handle.
Reisner here on first down. He takes the snap, and he's going to hand it off to the left-hand side, and he's going to have to shake through some Red Hawk defenders a little bit to get some positive yardage on the play, but he does just that and gets out across the 25 to the 26-yard line. Gain of 6 on first down. Zach, the Blaze stay ahead of the chains here early on.
Yeah, so that was a good job of Pleasant recognizing that, it looks like that was Andrade Jamison from Stewarts Creek was taking out that C gap, and he cut back to the inside and was able to get a big.
And here they go, moving with some tempo. They're going to set up a wide receiver screen that is blown up immediately at the line of scrimmage. That one hurt.
Yeah, that did, and that was, it looks like that was number 30, Schaubacker on the tackle. So now here we go, a big third and medium here for Blackman. Can Stewarts Creek's defense get off the field? And that's a timeout. Ooh, maybe not a timeout, or.
Looks like we have an ineligible receiver on the play.
James Haynes right there looks like there's an equipment issue, so DeMicah Dowdy is coming in for this next play.
James Hayes was the one that just caught that wide receiver screen. I wonder if he had an equipment issue after the hit.
Possibly.
Reisner drops back here on 3rd down, and he's got Ben Marshall again, just like we saw earlier, and he's going to have enough for the Blaze 1st down, and he's across the 30 at the 33-yard line. That's going to be another 1st down for the Blaze. So for the first time, we saw them get behind the sticks, have to execute on 3rd down, and they do just that.
Yeah, so right there, the Stewarts Creek defense was playing in a zone, and Ben Marshall, he ran a little hook, and he settled right in between the soft pocket of the defense, and that was a good throw by Reisner and a great
and now check out this formation as we have Reisner at the top of your screen lined up as the wideout as Thomas gives the handoff to Jalen Pleasant. And he's got a little bit of room as he's out to the 40-yard line where he'll be marked down.
Oh, they are saying that he was down. But Pleasant right there did a good job of cutting back inside the Stewarts Creek outside defender there, the edge rusher. And I think this is going to take us to the end of the 1st quarter.
We'll see if they try and get one last play off, as it looks like they are, as Thomas drops back to throw, and he's got to set up the wide receiver screen to Brown at the bottom of your screen, and he's going to get across midfield as he is just taking Red Hawk defenders with him. And it looks like that tackle was started early enough before he got out to the sideline to where the play wasn't dead. They didn't call it on the play.
So Anthony Collier right there and Ben Marshall did a good job of blocking and allowing Justin Brown to catch it and then find that little opening and get that 1st down.
And that is going to take us to the end of the 1st quarter here at the Inferno. It's homecoming night for the Blaze, and they are putting on a show here in Murfreesboro. It's 13-7 here as the Blaze have the lead against the Red Hawks. And with that, we will be right back with more on the MTN Sports Game of the Week on the NFHS Network.
Nothing is more expensive than a missed opportunity that could have changed your life.
Welcome back to the MTN Sports Game of the Week here on the NFHS Network. Blackman has the early lead as Reisner drops back to throw, and he's going to throw a long ball to Brown, and it's going to be overthrown at about the 20-yard line. Brown, was at the 25 waiting for it, and it was overthrown. First play of the 2nd quarter here back on the broadcast.
I don't know if that's overthrown more as just a miscommunication, as it looks like Brown, if he kept going, that would have been in stride. It looked like that may have been a almost perfect pass from Reisner, but Brown, there's just a little bit of miscommunication there which caused the pass to look a little bit overthrown.
And again, Reisner at the top of your screen as they're going to call the play dead. We'll see what the call is. We've got a flag down at the 50-yard line.
Yep.
It's going to be an offside on the Red Hawks, and we're going to repeat 2nd down here. So that'll be a 5-yard penalty. They'll move it up to about the 45. That's going to set up a 2nd and 5 on the play. So whether it's through penalties or just Jalen Pleasant runs, somehow, some way, the Blaze stay ahead of the chains.
Yes, I mean, yes, that was just a little bit of the defensive lineman for Stewarts Creek tried to get there really quick, early.
Reisner on 2nd down, and he's going to set up the screen to Ben Marshall, and he's going to have the 1st down and more as he's across the 35 down to the 33, deep into Red Hawks territory now.
Great play design there from the Blackman right there as they saw Reisner. They did that tight end screen where they took Ben Marshall from the right side and they took him behind the offensive line and tossed it over the top after letting the nose tackle there get through the middle.
1st down for the Blaze as Reisner drops back, and he's looking to air it out down to Brown, and it's going to be overthrown again. Excuse me, that was not to Brown. That was to number 27.
Anthony Collier.
That was Anthony Collier, so overthrown on the play, and that's going to set up a 2nd and 10 to go from the 34-yard line.
Another miscommunication is that looks like Collier thought he was running a post, and Reisner thought he was running a seam.
2nd down and 10 to go for the Blaze. as Thomas is lined up now at the quarterback spot, and he's going to look to keep it on the play, and he's going to move out to the left-hand side where he's past the first front, and he's going to slide, still take the hit anyway, down inside the 30, call him down at the 28-yard line to set up a 3rd and short for the Blaze.
Good job there of Thomas getting all he could, and great job of that offensive line creating that hole for him. And then good job, and he got down before he took the hit. As that's going to be on the defense, that's going to be close to a first down.
Peyton Thomas again draws them offside. Excuse me, that was Reisner on the play at the quarterback spot.
And that's going to be a first
They're
down.
going to move it ahead 5 yards, and with that, we're going to send it down to our sideline reporter, Abigail Martin.
Another comment expressed. Car wash, first down, Blaze. On the pass intended for number 12, Justin Brown, goes incomplete. Second down, 10.
What was it about this game that's going to be different? There's a lot going on with it being your homecoming, but he said this is actually going to be one of their more toned-down football games. Believe it or not, he said having Blackman to start their...
Thank you, Abigail. And we're back here, and if you just missed that last play, Reisner had a man open in the end zone, and it was a drop pass. I believe it was Brown on the play.
It was Justin Brown.
Very uncharacteristic for the two-way star for the Blaze. As Reisner is going to hand it off to Thomas, and it's going to be a throw after the handoff. We'll call it a halfback. We'll call it a halfback handoff into a throw, a pass attempt that's going to go down inside the 10-yard line. I don't think that's the technical term for that, but I don't know what you call that thing.
I don't know what you call that either. Right there, you had Ben Marshall run a seam, and I think that was just more of an option play. It was a handoff to Thomas, and see if Thomas saw anything. And right there, you saw the second level defenders, the linebackers, take a step forward for Stewarts Creek. And once they took that step forward, Thomas went ahead and he just lasered it into Ben Marshall.
Keep your eye here on Ben Marshall. He's going to be looking to get open here. He's actually going to set up the block, and it's going to be a handoff to Jalen Pleasant, a pitch, for a short gain. It looked like that was bobbled. That could have been trouble, but a gain nonetheless down to the 5-yard line.
Good pursuit there by the defense of Stewarts Creek outside edges. That looks like that was Justin Garcia, Trey Churchwell, and Jamison again.
Reisner sends Marshall in motion, and he's rolling out to the right side. He's going to look for him in the end zone, and he's got it. Ben Marshall with the Blaze touchdown to put the Blaze in front by a little bit more here early on in the second quarter.
Right there, Ben Marshall just ran a little bit of an out route and about 2-3 yards deep into the end zone, as you saw him get crowned there by Demicah Dowdy. So a little bit of a celebration. And now Blackman, are they going to go for two? Now they have a chance to go up 21-7. So that two-point conversion that they missed last time may come back to haunt them. That analytics that Coach Tygard uses told him to go for two last time, and of course that didn't work out. So now here we go. Look, they're going for two again.
Thomas and Reisner both going to line up. Reisner's going to take the snap, and he's going to pitch it out to Thomas, who's going to look for his man, and he's got him in the back of the end zone. That's easy money, as it's going to go up to 21-7 in favor of the Blaze. 9:49 to go here in the second quarter. The Blaze strike again here at the Inferno.
Here at MTN Sports, you could say we're a bit competitive.
All right, boys, I got a media pass for the big game this weekend. Who's covering it? 6 feet apart. Fight! 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me guess. Who's shooting this weekend? The funny thing is, I've got two.
I'm going to that game.
Welcome back to the MTN Sports Game of the Week here on the NFHS Network, as we have seen a dominant Blaze offense here in the Inferno, heating up fast. As here's the Blaze kickoff.
Onside
It's going to be an onside kick. They're trying to keep momentum in their favor. And who's on top of it? We'll see who's at the bottom of the pile here. And Stewarts Creek is going to recover, it looks like, and they will have great field position here, so definitely opportunistic offense time for the Red Hawks.
So now they get the ball inside of Blackman's territory. That may just be something for Coach Tiger trying to play the odds. Of course, he has that analytics system. Stewarts Creek, like we've been talking about, they are a heavy pound the ball offense. And if they kick it deep, there's a chance that Blackman wouldn't get the ball back until about 1 minute left.
A ground and pound offensive look for the Red Hawks. As we talked about earlier, Hoover not having many passing attempts, even with the games combined, as he's going to hand it off to Walker here to the right side, and he's got a little bit of room. He's going to have to shed some tackles, but he's going to do it and get out across the 45 down at about the 43-yard line, now edging deeper into Blaze territory.
Right there, he was able to shake off Mason Russell right there and then do the spin move before getting tackled by Wilkinson and Henderson there.
We've seen a lot from both sides shedding those first layer of tackles, and it's taking about the whole defensive front for both sides to bring down these running backs.
Again, they are very big physical running backs, so it's tough for one player to bring them down. But once they get to the secondary, it's even tougher to bring down.
2nd and 5 here for the Red Hawks as Hoover's going to send a man in motion and hand it off again to Walker as he's going to be blown up at the line of scrimmage. Call it a loss on the play of about 2. It'll be a 3rd and medium. We'll call it about a 3rd and 5.
Right there, David Wilkinson is again in on the play as Wilkinson forced Walker to spin to the outside, and who was waiting there? Kayvon Henderson. Again, that left end right there is what is that whole left side center from Mason Russell to Kayvon Henderson has really done a good job so far of this in this game of limiting Walker to, again, those 4 or 5 yard runs, but those very easily could be longer as Walker's in the Wildcat.
He's going to take the snap, and it's a high snap. He's got to jump for it, but he's got some room to run. He's going to get down all the way inside the 35-yard line, down at the 33-yard line before he's brought down. And Zach, again, to that point we were talking about, he had Blaze defenders on him at the 40, and look at where he ended up.
I mean, he's tough to bring down. He's really tough to bring down. Very big, very physical running back who just keeps his legs moving. If you don't hit him in the leg, if you don't take him down from the legs, then he's going to get those 6, 7 more yards after that first initial contact.
And Zach, to your point, as we were talking about earlier, the Red Hawks eating up some clock here as already 2 minutes have passed, as again, another shaky snap here by the Red Hawks, but Walker's going to take advantage anyway, and he's going to run all over this Blaze defense, and he's going to get down inside the 10, down to about the 6-yard line. Huge 25-yard run on the play.
Oh, and it looks like someone's helmet got ripped off there at the end. I was going to be holding coming back. But right there, that was a good job there of Walker. He was able to corral that snap. I don't know how he did it with that one hand, but when he corralled it, sometimes when those broken plays end up being the bigger ones because the containment of the defense is broken because they're trying to chase after that ball. Well, Walker caught them ball chase and was able to get to the outside.
Looked like that was number 76, Peyton Jones' helmet that got ripped off on the play, but he's got it back on, and he's staying out there. Seems to be okay. We'll replay first down. It'll be 1st and 15 for the Red Hawks here. Backed up at the 40-yard line. 7.5 minutes to go here as the Red Hawks look to tighten the gap here going into the half.
And maybe look for a potential throw from Walker soon.
Walker's back there on his own, and he's going to hand it off. It's going to be a reverse back to number 1, and he's got some room down the right side, and there he goes. He's got some speed all the way down inside the 10, down at the 7-yard line, deep into Blaze territory.
And there he is, Munavong. We talked about him before the game, his potential to just make those big plays. And right there, the whole defense of Blackman, they were following Walker, expecting him just to lower his head, cut back to the inside. But he hands it off to Munavong, and Munavong was able to get to that edge of that great outside blocking there from the receivers of Stewarts Creek and bring it down to the 5-yard line. Now they're back in business.
How about this Red Hawks offense matching that Coach Tygard kind of wild card, freaky kind of football here on Friday night? as Walker again takes the direct snap, and he's going to run it right up the middle for another Red Hawks touchdown to make it 13-21 here with 7 minutes to go in the first half.
He's tough to bring down. He is very tough to bring down. As you saw right there, he got hit at the line of scrimmage.
But then wasn't touched in the secondary.
Yeah, then wasn't touched until he was at the 2-inch line.
Extra point pending here for the Red Hawks as they have tightened the gap indeed going into the half. 7 minutes to go here, just inside the 7-minute mark. Snap, hold, kick is good. 14-21 here. The Blaze have the lead on homecoming night. With the timeout on the field, we are going to take a quick break. 21-14 game here in favor of the Blaze. We'll be back with more on the MTN Sports Game of the Week here on the NFHS Network. Stick around.
Here at MTN Sports, you could say we're a bit competitive.
All right, boys, I got a media pass for the big game this weekend. Who's covering it?
6 feet far. Fight! 1, 2, 3, 4, hide play, no more.
Let me guess. Who's shooting this weekend? The funny thing is, I've got 2.
I'm going to that game.
Welcome back to the Inferno here for the MTN Sports Game of the Week on the NFHS Network as the Red Hawks are set to kick off. Zach, there we saw a Red Hawks offense moving with some tempo, as I was alluding to, matching that Blaze energy here at the Inferno. What did the Blaze do to answer here now?
I mean, they just keep doing what they have been doing.
It's been effective.
They've had 3 drives and 3 touchdowns so far. So if you're Blackman, you just keep doing what you have been doing. They've done a good job of using the misdirection, using this wet turf to their advantage. You've seen some Stewarts Creek players slip and fall on the reverses, on the Peyton Thomas throw to Ben Marshall. You saw the linebacker take a step in, and then his foot slipped just a little when he was going back to try and make the tackle.
Belenfant for the kick, and he's going to put all of his leg into it as that's going to sail through the back of the end zone, and the Blaze are going to be set up 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. There you got a good look at Ben Marshall, the tight end, and has he been, to say the least, made an impact?
Yes, he has. He's done a good job on those and the 3rd down situations. He's done a good job of finding the soft spots in the defense and just sitting and making himself big for Reisner and for Thomas.
Been a big bailout option for sure for Reisner on those 3rd down plays, like you said. But then we saw him on the receiving end of that last Blaze score to make this a 21-7 game. And now 21-14, here we go. The Blaze handed off to Jalen Pleasant, number 1, and he's going to work from left to right as he's down across the 25 at the 26-yard line after a gain of 6 on the play. 2nd down and 4, 7 minutes and 14 seconds to go here in the second quarter.
Good job there by Justin Garcia of taking him down because Pleasant was just getting to his stride. And if he gets past Garcia there, it's a house call.
Keep your eyes on Brown on the bottom of your screen as Pleasant is lined up in the backfield with Reisner. He's going to fake the handoff and roll out to the right, and he's looking for him, and he's got him as he cuts back.
And that's bounced.
That is going to bounce up into his chest. Incomplete. 3rd down and 6 to go.
Now, here it is again. Stewarts Creek. Can they get off the field? Look for them to maybe potentially bring some pressure here. They've done a good job of covering for 4 or 5 seconds, but then there hasn't been very much pressure on the quarterbacks. As here comes Peyton Thomas in.
Reisner shifts out of the quarterback spot. It's going to drop back for a wideout, and Peyton Thomas is going to take the snap in the shotgun, fake the wide receiver screen, and move out to the right as he's going to be blown up, though, after a short gain down at about the 33-yard line. Another dynamic look here, though, for the Blaze offense.
Yeah, right there, but that was a good job of Trey White, Brandon Jarrett, and I'm pretty sure that was Clark Beasley or Trey Churchwell pursuing Thomas and forcing him to make up his mind. And Thomas wasn't able to do that. He wasn't able to cut back in because of that pursuit by Churchwell.
And the Blaze are going to line up to go for it here on 4th down as a timeout is called on the field. Timeout for Blackman on that 4th down. Looked like they were getting men on and off the field and also lining up in another unique formation again. But the Red Hawks having an answer here for the Blaze.
Now here they go. Stewarts Creek, they got the stop they needed. Now, as you see Coach Tygart in there, do you potentially run a fake? You're deep inside your own territory. Now it'd be a big risk. But
well, remember early on in this season, we saw the Blaze punt out of some unique formations here at the Inferno.
Yes, we did. And that was Reisner, who's the punter. So you have the ability to do that. You saw that with the Dallas Cowboys back in the late 70s, in the 70s and 80s. So
6 minutes, 15 seconds to go here. 21-14 in favor of the Blaze. 4th down and short here. As Thomas is going to line up to take the snap, and they are going to go for it, and they're going to run the pitch. It's going to be a high pitch, and he's going to struggle to get out to the 30. Will he have enough for it, though? We'll see where they mark him down at.
This is going to be a very close spot,
and the official is giving it to him. It's going to be a 1st down for the Blaze.
Wow.
What a play there. And that pitch from Thomas, it looked like it could have been trouble, but it was handled properly.
And that's going to be a sideline warning, I think. And that may be 15 more yards.
A sideline warning for Stewarts Creek. So a short gain on a 4th down conversion could possibly turn into a 20-yard play here.
If it's a sideline warning, this will be their first one. So that is just a warning. And but you saw that the Stewarts Creek coaches were not happy with this spot at all. That was a very, very
generous spot.
Very generous spot, I will say. It looked like he was down at about the 29 3/4 mark, and they spotted the ball about the front tip of the ball is the 30-yard line, 30.5-yard line.
We had the great shot that the officials didn't, Zach. We'll get the call on the field.
Oh, they're going to measure it.
Timeout. It looks like they're going to bring out the chains to measure this.
And I think that's going to be a 1st down, though.
On the officials' timeout, we will take a break here, though. And when we come back, we will see if the Blaze got the 1st down, and they are moving with some tempo here. We'll be back with the MTN Sports Game of the Week here on the NFHS Network.
Nothing is more expensive than a missed opportunity that could have changed your life. Maybe you're just graduating high school, or are working and need to earn a degree to advance your career. Or you aspire to be a leader, and a graduate degree can make.
And we kept you waiting long enough. It is going to be a 1st down for the Blaze as they are set up at the 30-yard line.
And it was very close. I couldn't tell from where we were. That was how close it was.
From our vantage point or any vantage point, it was very, very close, to say the least.
And they never signaled for a sideline warning. So I'm guessing they picked that up and they just went ahead and measured it.
Picked the flag up on the play as it was lost in the commotion. Either way here, 1st and 10 for the Blaze as Peyton Thomas lines up in the backfield. He's in the shotgun and he sends Pleasant in motion. He's going to fake the screen again and he's going to look across the middle where he's got Brown for a moment, and then it's going to be broken up by the Red Hawk defender. Incomplete pass.
Tyree Thomas right there, as that was just a deep slant there from Brown, but Thomas was on his hip the whole time, waited for the perfect moment to get his hand in and knock it down.
Reisner back at the quarterback position as he sends Marshall in motion. He's going to give it to Pleasant to the right-hand side, and he's going to have a gain of about 5. We'll mark him down at the 35-yard line to set up a 3rd and 5 for the Blaze.
Canthalath there is who forced him out of bounds, and now can Stewarts Creek get off the field this time? They're forcing third downs, but they are not able to capitalize on those third downs.
Keep your eyes on Brown on the bottom of your screen. It looks like they're playing him in the zone. We'll see what they do here. Reisner's going to look across the middle, and it's going to be tipped by Pleasant. Looked like it had a little too much heat on it for him for a short throw, and it looked like it could have been in a dangerous position potentially for the Red Hawk defender, but dropped innocently to the floor.
It looked like Churchwell right there. He realized what it was. He realized that the ball was tipped a second too late, as you saw him slap his helmet in frustration there, because he knew that he had one there. And it looks like they're playing 2 yards behind the sticks on Justin Brown right here.
2 yards behind the sticks. Reisner lines up in the shotgun on 4th down. They're going to go for it here, as he is going to punt out of that formation as we talked about earlier. It's going to bounce at the 50-yard line and go out of bounds at about the 47. Short punt there for the Blaze. The Red Hawks start out in great field position, trying to get a late score to tie this game going into the half now.
But the big thing here for Stewarts Creek is look for them to try and control the possession. Blackman got the ball to start the game, so they have a chance for a 10 or a 14-point swing right here. So Stewarts Creek, they're going to take as much time as they can off the clock. Again, 5:26 is a long time, but when you're a ground and pound team, you can take 5:26 off the clock in your sleep.
You've seen this Red Hawks offense settle in a little bit as we saw them struggle early, but now they are right back into this game as he's got a man on the left-hand side, and he's going to take a little pause of hesitation before cutting it back towards the midfield, and then going to be marked down at about the 36-yard line. A Blaze defender's helmet comes off,
and that was
but a first down for the Red Hawks.
And that was Nathan Hampton. Hampton got to the outside, a great throw by Hoover. He took that little hesitation step and then was able to get 4 or 5 more yards. So now, I mean, maybe you stay up tempo. It seems like it's working the past 2 drives for Stewarts Creek.
There you see the Red Hawks sideline where the Red Hawks are getting their signals from tonight.
Throwing the Superman logo.
Yes, throwing the Superman logo, moving with a little tempo here, as you alluded to. He's going to send Walker in motion, and he's got the handoff on the right-hand side, and here he goes. He's ready for some more as he's down inside the 30-yard line. Just outside the 30-yard line at about the 31 to set up a 2nd and about 5.
And what Walker does a really good job of, he doesn't really take big hits that much. He lowers his shoulder and he delivers the hits. As you saw right there, it looked like he lowered his shoulder and was able to deliver the hit on the Blackman defender, Kyer Fuller Elmore, and was able to fall forward for that extra yard.
We're just about at the 4-minute mark here of the second quarter. The Blaze hold the early lead against the Red Hawks, who are in striking position, though, as they're just inside the 35-yard line. And it's going to be another handoff to Walker as he's going to cut it back up to the left side where he's got some room. The wide receiver gets a good block for him, and he's going to keep on spinning and churning all the way down to the 10-yard line where they will finally mark him down for a first down and goal. Red Hawks.
Javarian Ot right there on the outside. He was the wide receiver that was blocking downfield. He did a good job of holding his man, and then instead he had his hands. He had his defender's hands inside of the shoulder pads, and then once the defender went to try and escape, he released, and once Walker got to the outside of the defender, came back and finished the block.
And how about Walker last week? He had a 60-yard touchdown. He had a 40-yard touchdown run. He had a 30-yard touchdown run. You name it. If it ended in a 0, he probably had it as a touchdown run last week, and he was running all over that Summit defense. Over 200 yards for him in last week alone. And we're going to see if he can get another one here as he's lined up to take the snap here directly. He's going to run it right up the middle here, and he's going to pound all the way down to about the 6-yard line. Looks like they'll mark him down.
At the 6.
At the 6, yes. 2nd down and 6 to go. Again, they were at the 10-yard line, and they need the score.
Yeah,
Second
yes, they
down
do.
and goal.
So now they have the. Now, if you're Stewarts Creek, you take as much time off the clock as you can. Maybe potentially look for Blackman to take their timeouts right here. Give them to give their offense ample amount of time to do something, because right now it will be down to about 2:30 before this next. Well, about 2:45, 2:40 before this next play snaps, and then about 2 minutes to a minute 20 before.
Hoover sends Walker in motion from left to right, and he's going to keep it as he's going to be blown up and dropped hard back in the backfield for a loss of 1 on the play. He's a little shaken up on the play.
CJ Steele, Cole Reed, and Jaron Harold were all in on the tackle there, and also it was Jalen Brown. They did a good job of. I mean, once Hoover decided to not hand the ball off to Walker, they all converged on Hoover and didn't allow Hoover to go anywhere.
Looked like he had a little bit of room there for a second, but then that A gap collapsed immediately.
Yeah, so what Blackman did right there, as you're going to see them take the time all the way down and then call a timeout once the play clock gets down to 1.
Inside the 2-minute mark here in the 2nd quarter.
So what Blackman did right there is they disengaged with the offensive lineman, took a step back once they saw Walker running that jet sweep option, and then once Hoover decided to keep it, he went and they converged on Hoover and took him down.
3rd down here for the Red Hawks as they take it all the way down to the 1:42 mark here and take the timeout to try and run as much time off the clock as possible so that way they don't have to give this Blackman Blaze offense the ball back with much time left.
So right after this play, you'll probably see Blackman call their timeout, because if they don't, there will be a minute left when Blackman gets the ball back. And then that is when you're looking at that 10 to 14 point swing
you were talking about for the Red Hawks
earlier.
So,
again, they got the ball 4 minutes ago, and they have done a good job of getting those chunk plays to get down in position, and now they have a chance to score here with a minute 42 to around maybe even a minute, and they get the ball back to start the second half.
You talk about how important that swing is. It almost sounds like the life has been sucked out of the stadium as these Blaze fans know how important this drive is for their defense here.
Here's a big 3rd down right now.
Huge 3rd down here for the Red Hawks. A minute 42 to go as Hoover and Walker line up in the backfield.
Turn the defense chance going up now.
3rd down from the 6.
It's going to be a false start.
It is going to be a false start for the offense. That was number 52 for the Red Hawks, and that's going to back them up to the 11-yard line.
Looks like that was Bryant McAtee. Excuse me. McAtee, yes. Yes. Sorry about that.
We talked about the discipline for both of these teams coming into this game, and here in one of those clutch situations, you see a huge penalty from the Red Hawks offense.
And now if they gain 6-7 yards here, it's going to be interesting to see what they do, as it looks like they may get the ball back to Walker and see how many he can get, and then are they going to go for it?
He's going to fake. Hoover's going to fake the handoff to Walker, and it's going to be
what a
thrown
throw.
and caught. What a dime from Hoover in the right corner of the end zone for another Red Hawks touchdown. It's 20-21, Zach.
Yes, it is, and I think, if I am not mistaken, that is Nathan Hampton right there. What a throw by Hoover, and Hampton did a good job of recognizing where he was and sliding down, getting his hands underneath the football and scoring to bring the score to within 1.
With just outside the 1 minute mark here in the first half, and the Red Hawks are right back in this thing as extra point pending. They've just tied it up. It's up and good. We have a tie ball game on our hands with a minute and a half to go here. What a beautiful throw from Hoover, though, to get that ball only where his receiver could get it. Down close to the ground there, but multiple defenders chasing him there.
That was a great touch pass right over the defender that was standing on the goal line, and Hampton, recognizing where the ball placement was, did a good job of going down and getting it because Hoover knew that was the only place where he could throw it, where Hampton had a chance at it.
Hampton did have a chance, and he made the most of his chance indeed, as they were able to capitalize and take a lot of time off the clock. Remember, when the Red Hawks got that ball, there were 9 minutes on the clock. They suck up 8 minutes off the clock, and now they give the Blaze the ball back with a minute and a half to go here. The Blaze have 2 timeouts, though, so plenty of time, plenty of timeouts to work with. We'll see what Coach Tygard does here as they try and recapture momentum going into the half.
But again, Blackman's quick striking offense basically means that this half isn't over yet. Justin Brown has found himself some wide open areas, and so has Ben Marshall. So look for that this next drive.
A lot of weapons for this Blaze offense, as we'll see them come to the line here at first down after the touchback at the 20-yard line. There you see Ben Marshall and Justin Brown, both been very effective tonight. Brown both defensively and offensively, and then Marshall on the special teams unit and on the offensive side, of course, as the main tight end and the huge target for Reisner.
Yeah, definitely. So, again, like we were talking about last possession, Marshall's done a good job of finding those soft spots in the zone that Stewarts Creek has been playing. They're playing man on Justin Brown, and that man guarding him is number 4, Tyree Thomas. Thomas has done a good job of not letting there be any separation between him and Brown.
There's the handoff from Reisner to Pleasant here on first down, as he's going to make a beautiful spin move, but then be tackled in the backfield. A loss of 2, and the clock keeps rolling. 2nd and 12 here for the Blaze as they'll hurry up and get to the line of scrimmage. It's Reisner and Pleasant in the backfield again. 2nd and 12 for the Blaze after the loss on the play. Reisner drops back, and he's going to look to air it out. Overthrows his target, and Brown had a little something to say about it after the play.
Just voicing his frustration, because there's been a couple times where Brown's been wide open, but if you're Reisner, you've thrown the ball on a dime a few times to Brown, and Brown hasn't been able to come up with it. So that frustration, I think, is a little bit of both the overthrows and him sometimes not being able to hold the ball in.
As Thomas lined up now with Pleasant in the backfield, tries to draw the Red Hawk defender offside. And he's going to drop back to throw. He's looking to air it out, and he's got a man, and he's got Brown, but it's going to be just out of reach as Brown was looking for the penalty on the play. Just out of the reach again of Justin Brown.
As it looked like Brown was going to get that step. If he could have waited a second longer, Thomas would have been able to hit Brown in stride as he's going to the tent right now, as they have those big flat screen TVs to watch what happened on the last drive.
Going to take a look at it, try and get it straightened out indeed, as Brown frustrated on multiple plays there in the quick Blaze drive. That only took about 30 seconds for them to get on and off the field, as now they line up to punt as the punter's back at about the 5-yard line for the Blaze. There's the snap, and it's going to be a clean hold. Good punt, dropping the Red Hawks back to the 48-yard line, where number 1 will receive and call for the fair catch. 50 seconds to go here in the first half of play.
And that was Tane Munavong right there, realizing that punt hang just a little bit too long for him to do anything with it. But it's going to be interesting to see, does Stewarts Creek spread it out right here? Or do they throw it deep, right? Maybe 2 or 3 times, or do they run it with Walker that first handoff, first play, and see how much they get?
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Walker's been effective, to say the least, here early in this one, and we'll see if they go back to him here as he lines up on the right hip of Hoover for first down, as Munavong is sent in motion. And they're going to set up the screen, and that's going to be tipped by a Blaze defender. Looked like it was
C.J. Steele.
Number 2, yes, C.J. Steele for the Blaze.
Steele did a good job of recognizing that screen pass, came in from his safety position, and he almost jumped it. If right there Walker did not get in between Steele and the ball there, that may have been a house call.
Looked like the Blaze read that one beautifully, as they knew what was coming for them there on first down. 2nd down and 10 at the 48-yard line. 45 seconds to go here for the Red Hawks. Munavong in motion again. Hoover takes the snap. He rolls out to the right side, and he's in trouble. He's scrambling. He's going to have to look ahead, and he's got a man on a dump pass. Quick out across the 40 down to the 35. He's going to be brought down. That's number 3. He's brought down at the 33-yard line after a huge gain on what looked like almost a broken play.
Yeah, right there. Nathan Hampton right there was able to get open for Hoover. Hoover did a good job of waiting to the last possible second.
As the Red Hawks spike it there on first down.
Hoover recognizing that he's going to get hit, and he took a big hit, honestly, from that Blackman defense. Did a good job of waiting. Very last second was able to toss it over the incoming defender from Blackman, and there was Hampton able to get those 15, 20 yards, and they are close to field goal range.
They are closing in on field goal range indeed, as all we've been talking about tonight for the special teams unit for the Red Hawks has been the leg on their kicker.
As this would be about as they're talking it over.
Yeah, Belenfant, this is well in his range. They will not hesitate. Coach Cottle will not hesitate to send him out there from this range.
He has already made a field goal this year.
2nd and 10 for the Red Hawks after the spike on first down. Clock at just outside the 30-second mark as Hoover's going to air it out, and he's looking. And it's going to be dropped. Excuse me, it's going to fall innocently to the ground as he thought he had a man at the 5-yard line. Just out of the reach, though, of number 21 there for the Red Hawks.
He's looking for Walker again, and Hoover waited to the last second again to throw it. And he said, you know what? Walker's there. I mean, he's been making plays all night. Let's see if he can make one more. And it fell innocently to the ground.
And as a wide receiver for Walker, you kind of see that speed come into play as he's able to beat that man off the front to try and create some separation in the secondary. 3rd and 10 for the Red Hawks as Hoover sends Walker out wide. He's at the top of your screen, the lone man. 3 wide receivers on the bottom as Walker's going to cut back in and run, and he's going to go down awkwardly. Looked like he tried to change direction, but went down hard on the wet turf here in the Inferno as it's going to set up a 4th down, and it looks like that's going to be the last play of the half here.
I think they may call it. Yeah, they're going to call a timeout with about 1 second.
They are going to call a timeout with 1 second to go. Late flag on the play as the referee was passing by the Blaze huddle. The officials will talk about this one, and we'll get the call.
This may put them in field goal range.
We'll see what the call is, but
goes
yes.
From about a 55-yard field goal to a 40-yard field goal.
And here's the call from the official. First unsportsmanlike conduct call for the Blaze defender. It looked like that was number 11 on the play who picked up the unsportsmanlike. And so, yeah, that makes this more interesting.
They were going to do it anyways. They were going to throw him out there anyways from that 55-yarder.
And so now we will see the field goal unit out here for the Red Hawks with just 1 second left on the clock here in the first half, as it looks like we're going to get a timeout on the field.
The officials' timeout. I think they're saying something with a 3. Oh, they're going to put 3 seconds left on the clock.
3 seconds back up on the game clock. As we'll see if Belenfant has it in him. As you talked about, Zach, he's already put one through the uprights earlier this year. When he's been called on, he has delivered for the Red Hawks. We'll see if they can do it here again. On 4th down on a 21-all game here at the Inferno on the MTN Sports Game of the Week.
And that starts the game clock. Excuse me, not the game clock, the play clock.
The snap, hold, and we have an official's timeout as Belenfant has plenty of leg on that one. as we hear the Stewarts Creek
And there was a
sideline go
timeout
crazy.
by Blackman.
But yes, Coach Tygard, very sneaky about it, but he does get the timeout called before the snap, and they'll have to do it again. Good practice run, though, if you're Bellenfont. That had plenty of leg behind it.
I will say that would have been good from the 15 yards back that we were talking about. That one went so high that it went out of our frame that we had. That was how much leg he got behind that. Again, Bellenfont is a really, really good kicker, very solid. So
one of the best in this district for sure.
This is where you got to use them. Again, they are, of course, they're going to use them, but this is where you have the advantage. Again, 3 seconds to go in the half. Maybe you hesitate if you don't have as strong as a kicker as Bellenfont, but Bellenfont right here is almost automatic.
Coach Cottle and the Red Hawks coaching staff had very much have a lot of confidence in him, as they are going to send him out there again. Iced or not iced, he's going to throw one up there again. Kick one up there again.
Can he put it through the uprights again?
The last 3 seconds of the half are going to be the longest 3 seconds of this half, my friend, is what it seems like.
Moves it a foot closer, a yard closer than what
Ball
the
down
spot
at
was.
the 23-yard line where Cottle will have the kick, snap, hold. It's up and good for the Red Hawks as they will take the lead going into the half here in the Inferno. It's 24-21, and that's going to take us to halftime here. But wow, what a great first half of back and forth action here from the Red Hawks and the Blaze.
Yeah, definitely. And right there, now you have the momentum. Those 3 points could loom large. That is, Stewarts Creek scored 7 points, scored a touchdown, and then forced a 3 and out, and then they had kicked a field goal as time expired, and they're getting the ball back to start the second half. So,
great clock management there late for the Red Hawks defense as they were able to get on and off the field like we talked about within 30 seconds and then get the ball back for their offense to put them in scoring position late in the half.
Yes, and it was really good by their defense. Their defense was struggling those first 3 drives. There was 3 drives, 3 touchdowns for Blackman, but after that, their defense has really done a good job of getting them off the field on those third down situations where they were struggling in. That is where they have really excelled after those first 3 drives.
Great execution, great game plan, and great discipline. One of your keys that we talked about coming into this game, discipline for both sides of the ball, for both teams, and we saw that here with the Red Hawks late. And with that, that is going to take us to halftime, so we will take a break. We'll be back with more on the MTN Sports Game of the Week here on the NFHS Network.
Here at MTN Sports, you could say we're a bit competitive.
All right, boys, I got a media pass for the big game this weekend. Who's covering it?
6 feet far. Fight! 1, 2, 3, 4, out of play, no more.
Let me guess. Who's shooting this weekend? The funny thing is, I've got 2.
I'm going.
Nothing is more expensive than a missed opportunity that could have changed your life. Maybe you're just graduating high school, or are working and need to earn a degree to advance your career. Or you aspire to be a leader, and a graduate degree can make that happen. Whether you're just starting out or retooling for the future, Middle Tennessee State University can help you get there. MTSU, the University of Opportunities.
So many men and women that have served that expected to be able to have their tuition or certain assistance being given to them, and that money evaporated. With the establishment of the general fund is to make sure that all those men and women can get through MTSU and pursue what they thought they could do when they came on back.
We're extremely proud that the Predators have identified the need to help make this fund one of the best at our university for our veterans.
I'm Lisa Justice. I'm principal of Blackman High School. Welcome to the football season. We're excited to have you here. I'd like to share with you the 4 pillars of our culture here at Blackman High School. And those 4 pillars are purpose, history, connection, and growth. With purpose, all of our students have a purpose, whether it's in athletics, academics, or the arts. But it's important to ask, what is my purpose? For history, we know that the students who are here now are our next chapter in history. And so we ask them to ask themselves, how can I be a part of the next chapter? For connection, we know that connection makes better students, it makes a happier environment, and we ask our students to say, what is my connection to others here at Blackman High School? And finally, growth. We have a growth mindset here. And we like our students to ask every day, and our teachers, how can I be better today? And better yet, how can I help others be better? Thank you for tuning in to Blackman High School. We appreciate you being here, and go Blaze.
Okay, Chandler Tygard, the head football coach at the Blackman Blaze. I'm new to Blackman, got hired in January, so I'm from Nashville, Tennessee originally. We're moving back into town from Stevenson, Alabama, where I was the head coach at North Jackson High School. We're calling ourselves the Baby Blaze. We've got 100 football players, but we only return 6 starters, 3 on each side of the ball. 14 new coaches, kind of like our year 0, not necessarily a year 1. We're building the foundation for what we're going to do, and kids have done some awesome work. We're resetting everything. And we're going to see what happens from there. And so I coached at the University of Tennessee for 7 years, so I guess the Vols are my team. I cheer for a lot of my friends, so I worked for Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss. I worked for Ed Orgeron at LSU. But pretty much once you've worked with guys, you kind of cheer for your friends as opposed to pulling for the home team. Other than the Titans, I grew up a Titans fan, so we just took our team to Titans practice a couple weeks ago, and that was really neat for our boys too. So I'm married to my wife Lauren, and I've got 2 little boys. Barrett is 1.5 years. Camp is 5.5. In the spare time, man, don't do much. I like to play golf, but ever since I've had 2 little boys, you don't get to play a lot of golf anymore. So it's about football all the time, and then hanging out with my kids and family. They're always here. They're going to be in the end zone and game day. Camp likes to fill up water bottles, so hanging out with them as part of football is really neat. Yeah, I hope everybody comes out to see the new Blazing Fast team. So we're a hurry-up offense. We like to run 90 plays a game as fast as we can go. We like to onside kick. We run lots of trick plays. We're fun to watch. It's going to be an awesome, exciting season with all this new stuff coming on. So everybody needs to come out and watch the Blaze this year. Go Blaze.
Here at MTN Sports, you could say we're a bit competitive.
All right, boys, I got a media pass for the big game this weekend. Who's covering it?
6 feet apart. Fight! 1, 2, 3, 4, out of play, no more.
Let me guess. Who's shooting this weekend? The funny thing is, I've got 2. Oh! I'm going to that game.
Welcome back to the MTN Sports Game of the Week here on the NFHS Network. Second half action. We've got isolated showers here back at the Inferno. The rain has set in. We're going to get you the best angles that we can get you as the second half carries on. Right now, that's our broadcast booth camera, but we're going to have you the best looks that we can get you all night long, as always, here on the NFHS Network. Second half action just kicked off, Zach. The Redhawks send it through the back of the end zone. Here comes the Blaze offense.
Yeah, and here,
excuse me, I said it backwards. It's the Redhawks offense that'll have the ball first down and 10 at the 20-yard line.
I was kind of confused for a second.
I was focused on the weather report, my man. That's my bad. I threw you for a loop.
No, you're fine. Yeah, so here they come. They can take out, they have the potential to take out. This is where they are their best, able to take down the clock, control the tempo, and now let's see how much time they can take off this clock.
We're going to see how the rain affects this game as well. We've already seen a run-dominant offense in the first half from both these teams, but we're going to see if we get some old-fashioned ground-and-pound football here early on.
They're already switching this football. I don't know if it's because it was deflated enough or if the ball was just too wet.
Either way, new football is coming down on the 20-yard line as the rain comes down as well. We've got these nice stadium lights here at the Inferno to kind of over-exaggerate the look, if you will, but it is coming down, and it is coming down in bunches as well as the Redhawks set up 1st and 10 here on the 20, and they're going to hand it off to Walker, and it's going to be a short gain of about 1 on the play. 2nd down and 9, 11:50 to go here, just getting the third quarter of action started.
Yeah, and that was a good job there of Mason Russell and, Bradley Chambers doing a good job of not allowing Walker to get to that second level. And he only gained about 1 yard on the play. Good job of limiting that first carry of the second half.
Now, I wasn't in the locker room at the break, but I know Coach Tygard said one thing. We have to be more present on defense, and we have to stop the run. Can't let him get to that second wave as Hoover, number 7, drops back for the throw on the 2nd down snap, and it looks like it's going to be an intentional grounding on the play.
This is I think this may be a holding call.
Yes, the official sign it is going to be a holding on the offense, so that will be a 5-yard penalty. It's going to be a 3rd and 14 on the play, back at about the 2nd down and 14 on the play, back at the 16-yard line for the Redhawks.
So right there, it looks like it was I couldn't see the number, but he got a handful of jersey and just took the man down. So that's an easy call for the official, right from the official. So it was Peyton Jones. That's who it was.
There's the official call, holding on the offense. Second down and long. They'll redo the down here. Second and long here at the 11-yard line for the Redhawks. As we see 3 Redhawk wide receivers split out wide on the top of your screen, and Walker on his own, as now Hoover, the quarterback, is going to drop out as well. And that's going to be a blown up play at first, what looks like, but now he's got some room after the second win, and he's going to trip on his own down at the 19-yard line. Well, excuse me, they're going to bring this one back a few yards as he did step out of bounds at the 19-yard line.
But right there, Javarian Odie right there did a good job of escaping those 2 outside edge rushers there, as it looked like that was Mason Russell and Braden Odom. They got him at the line of scrimmage, and then he was able to get outside, and now it's a 3rd and about 12.
3rd and 12 for the Redhawks as Hoover tries to get the Blaze defenders to jump off sides. It almost looked like he had number 95 there, but no call as Hoover looks to the sideline for the signal on this 3rd down play. Huge 3rd down play here early on in the first half for the Redhawks, and even a bigger one for the Blaze defenders. Sends a man in motion. He's going to drop back in the shotgun, and he's going to try and air it out to the far sideline where he's got a man for a first down and more across the 40-yard line, across the midfield mark where he had more room, but he falls on his own. The wet conditions have an impact here early. He's down at midfield, first down for the Redhawks.
And that was Tayden Munavong right there. It looks like CJ Steele was on the coverage, and Steele was trying to play the sticks and force him out of bounds before the sticks, but Munavong did a good job of using that speed that he has to get outside of Steele, and they're starting to use Munavong more and more in this game, and that is when the Stewarts Creek offense started to take off.
He's starting to become more of a threat, as Walker has been in that first half as well. And there's that man again, Munavong, as he's going to get the handoff to the left-hand side, and he's going to have a gain of about 8 on the play as they're going to mark him down at about the 36-yard line. Excuse me, that is going to be enough for a first down after the official signal. First down for the Redhawks.
Munavong is just very, very shifty. Did a good job of recognizing the hole. He went behind his offensive line, then recognized that the B hole was open.
Nice little shimmy shot there we got of him.
So he cut back through that B hole and was able to get that first down.
First down for the Redhawks. 10 minutes to go here. At the 36-yard line as Hoover brings his man across. There's the snap, and it's going to be another handoff to Walker up the middle, and he's not going to have much room. But again, you see that strength. That could have been a blown-up play at the line of scrimmage, but it turned into a gain of 3.
Yeah, right there. He ran into Nathan Hampton right there. If he was able to bounce that off to the outside, there was a chance of a potential big play. But good job of Blackman of not allowing that to happen. And then once the first contact was made, there was 6 of the Blackman defenders there to bring him down.
And it looks like that's how many of them they needed, as we talked about in the first half. Walker getting into that second level and it taking multiple Blaze defenders to bring him down early on. We're starting to see more of that here, and the Blaze get to him in a little bit more of a hurry, as now he'll be on the right side of your screen. First down for the Redhawks here, and he's got plenty of room. That's to number 26 as he's inside the 20-yard line up to about the 18 before he's brought down.
So that was Javarian Odie again. They're using Odie a lot this drive, but something to look at when people go back and watch this game, watch Nathan Hampton and Gabriel Walker's blocks on the outside. That was what set that big open gap for Odie to basically, he could have walked through that for 6, 7, 8 yards.
Walker having an impact in multiple ways, as we've seen him have an impact obviously as a rusher, but now as a blocker as well on some of these pass plays and some of these trick plays where we have a man in motion coming across the screen here. First down and 10 for the Redhawks here just inside the 20-yard line. Hoover's lined up in the shotgun. He brings Walker across, and he's going to give it to him, working his way from right to left as he's across the 15 down to the 13-yard line. We'll call it a gain of about 5 on the play. And Munavong up at the 10-yard line looked like he wanted a flag for some unnecessary contact, and it looks like he's going to get it.
Cole Reed there was in on this tackle, but as you see, Hoover trying to pull the lineman back as they're trying to talk this through. I did not see what happened.
So it looked like Munavong was brought down, and I believe they're going to call an unnecessary roughness.
Person fell on the defense. That's in half the distance to the goal, and that's an automatic first down.
So again, one of the keys to this game was discipline for both sides of the ball, a lack of it there for the Blaze defense. So again, early in the first half, we saw some of that chippy play from both sides as we had personal fouls called on the opening kickoff from both teams. And now early on in the second half here, we have another one of those plays as well from a Blaze defender.
Yes, so you just have to control. Yes, there's a lot of emotion in this game. There is a lot of, when you're hitting when you're hitting each other for 48 minutes, there's going to be emotion. There's going to be times where you get frustrated, but you have to take that and use it in a more helpful way to your team.
Hoover's going to line it up, and Walker's going to take the direct snap, and he's going to walk right into the end zone. He's going to sprint right into the end zone. Gosh, that happened fast. Don't blink, because Walker's in again for a 27-20. They're going to expand the lead to a 30-21 lead over the Blaze.
And right there, that was that B gap. They did a good job of opening wide, and Walker didn't even get touched until his teammates lifted him up for the touchdown celebration. Great job there of blocking, as that looks like that was number 72, John Moody, and number 54, Riley Hansen on that left side of that offensive line.
The extra point by Bellenfant is good, up and out of our screen by a lot as we continue to talk about the leg for this special teams unit. But you talked about the impact of Nathan Hampton. Wow, huge impact there as you saw that pre-snap motion and then leading to that score.
Yeah, as Hampton did a good job of getting open, and he did a good job of blocking that drive, doing what was necessary for them to get those extra yardage.
And with that, we are going to take it down to our sideline reporter, Abigail Martin, who has the inside scoop for us after that scoring drive.
Blackman Blaze Football. I'd like to thank our season sponsor at Hart Pancake Party Rental. Blaze would also like to thank our Blaze Level sponsor group.
Hey guys, I spoke with Coach Cottle of Stewarts Creek right before the half, and I asked him about the big momentum change that we have seen throughout this game. He said they didn't have the best start, but they were able to settle down.
Thank you, Abigail. And now we're going to see how the Blaze answer. So we kind of saw a lack of discipline there, late penalty to kind of set them up deep to give the Redhawks in prime scoring position. But now we'll see how the Blaze offense answers here.
Yes, and this is a big drive for this Blackman offense. They need to score here. You saw earlier in the game how Stewarts Creek responded to a two-score deficit. How is Blackman going to respond?
Bellenfant puts it through the back of the end zone again. It'll be another touchback for the Blaze offense as they'll start out 1st and 10 on the 20-yard line, just outside that 8-minute mark, 8:07 to go here in the third quarter.
Maybe look for more reverses, maybe more of that fun and gun that we were seeing earlier in the game when that offense was moving. It looked like it got a little bit predictable on that last 3 plays that the Blackman's offense ran before half, which led to that 17-point swing that we just witnessed. Blackman has scored ran 3 plays in a time. Stewarts Creek scored 17 points.
Reisner's going to hand it off here on 1st and 10, and he's going to be stuffed up at the line of scrimmage. That's Jalen Pleasant, number 1 on the play. 2nd down and 10, just inside the 8-minute mark here. Keep your eye again on Justin Brown on the bottom of your screen. We saw some miscommunication early or late in the first half there. That can be kind of deflating for an offense.
Yes, it can, and you saw the frustration as now they're going to get Brown involved.
Reisner sends out a wide receiver screen to Brown on the bottom of your screen, and it's going to be blown up after a short gain of about 1. as the Red Hawk defenders help him back up to his feet. It's going to set up a 3rd and long. We'll call it a 3rd and 9 from the 21-yard line.
So here they go. They need this first down here. It's almost a must convert here for Blackman because the way the Stewarts Creek offense has been running, it's been running so smoothly that it's almost like they're scoring every drive.
They are scoring at every drive at this point, scoring at will as now Reisner sends it out to Justin Brown, getting him involved now as he's got enough for the first down as he's across the 30 out to what they'll mark as the 34-yard line. Great second effort there by Brown to make the catch and try and fight for as many yards as possible before going down after being swarmed by Red Hawk defenders.
Yes, he did a good job of recognizing where the sticks was, recognizing that he was on the sticks, but was able to get those extra 2-3 yards. And
here's 100%. Peyton Thomas here on first down as the Blaze move with a little bit of tempo here. They're going to hand it off to Pleasant, working from left to right as he gains about 3 on the play, getting up to the 36-yard line. We'll call it a 2nd and about 7.
It's going to be interesting to see what Blackman does here. Does Coach Tygard keep the playbook wide open, or does it condense a little because of the rain?
Thomas sends a man in motion, and now he's going to fake the handoff and have a man who's going to hold on to it. And guess who? It's tight end Ben Marshall, who's got it down to the 50-yard line. And now the Blaze are going to continue to move in this up-tempo look as Thomas stays at the quarterback spot.
Good job by Thomas there, throwing it and finding Marshall. Good job holding on by Marshall because Dunlap Jr. gave a big hit.
1st and 10 here for the Blaze as Thomas looks for a pitch, and it's going to bounce off the back of an offensive lineman's helmet, go right back into his hands. That could have been a disaster on that one.
He should have just knocked it down right there. He was trying to flip it to Pleasant, but that would have been a pass. So all he had to do was knock it down off the lineman's helmet, and then instead of losing 5 yards, you're still at 2nd and 10.
Costly play there on first down as now he's going to look out to Pleasant, who's going to cut it back up to the middle and try and get back up to the 50-yard line after that loss of 5 on first down, and they're only going to get about 2 back here as this is going to set up a 3rd and long for the Blaze at just about the 48-yard line, still in their own territory.
Yeah, we're seeing these running backs be tough to bring down. They're big, physical, bruising backs, and it's harder to bring them down as the game goes along.
3rd and long here as Reisner drops back to throw, and it's going to be, it looked like another example of miscommunication between the quarterback and the wide receiver as that was almost an interception down inside the 30-yard line. Looked like the target on that one was number 27, Anthony Collier.
Right there, it looked like that Reisner was trying to throw it to Collier's back shoulder, but Collier slipped when he was trying to go up and high point the ball, which almost led to the very easy interception from Dunlap.
That rain has let up here a little bit, but now Reisner is going to come out in the formation and punt, and it's going to bounce at about the 10-yard line. Good punt from Reisner as the Red Hawks will have to start deep. But now the script has kind of flipped as the Red Hawks now are hot, and we're going to see what they continue to do here as we come back, when we come back with the MTN Sports Game of the Week here on the NFHS Network.
Here at MTN Sports, you could say we're a bit competitive.
All right, boys, I got a media pass for the big game this weekend. Who's covering it?
6 feet apart. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Let me guess. Who's shooting this weekend? The funny thing is, I've got 2. Oh! I'm going to that game.
Welcome back to the MTN Sports Game of the Week here on the NFHS Network. Red Hawk ball here on first down as Hoover hands it up the middle to Walker again, who breaks through Blaze defenders left and right and gets across the 30-yard line. Huge 20-yard gain here. I was just about to talk about field position, but then you get a play like that on first down, and Walker changes the game.
Man, it's wet. It's hard to grab Walker. Walker's already tough enough to bring down as it is, and then when he's just lowering his helmet in these wet conditions and just running people over, it's almost unfair. This is going to have to be where Blackman steps up. This is where you see what this Blackman defense is made of. Absolutely must stop, and they must force a punt here. Because we know that Stewarts Creek Belafont can kick it from about 55, 60 yards.
Absolutely. I'd say even more if he had to. As Hoover's going to take the snap here on first down. A little miscommunication with his back there as he's going to have to take this one on his own. It's going to be a short gain, if any, out to the 30-yard line where it'll be second down and 10. We're just inside 4.5 minutes to go here in the third quarter.
Yeah, there was really nowhere for Hoover to go, as it looks like he was trying to hand it off back to Odie, but Odie didn't. There's a miscommunication somewhere because they were reading different plays. But Hoover did a good job of getting as much as he could and then just going down, not trying to gain those extra yards, because that is where you lose the football in these situations.
Those are the kind of mistakes that the Blaze defense needs to take advantage of if they want to get off the field, as we see the Redhawks just taking their time as they are trying to milk this clock here in the second half. Hoover's going to take the snap, and it's going to be fumbled in the backfield, and it looks like Hoover's going to have to fall on it his own. We'll see who comes up with it, and Hoover does have it. There's going to be a late flag thrown as well. And we'll see who this one comes back on.
Mason Russell was in on where the flag was.
Dead ball penalty against the Blaze. It's going to be an automatic first down. So, wow, you try and capitalize on these Redhawks miscommunication and missed snaps with the wet ball, but then that turns into positive yardage somehow.
Yeah, right there. You just have to keep your head there. Yes, it's a very competitive game, but that would have been a 3rd and 15, 3rd and 16. You had Stewarts Creek right where you wanted them, behind the chains, a 15, 16-yard deficit to gain on that third down, where when you have a run-heavy team, that is where you want them. You want them behind the sticks where they become one-dimensional, and they were in that one-dimensional spot where they were going to have to throw the ball, but now they're back, and you have Walker standing right behind Hoover, and look for Walker. They have to hand off to Walker.
Mudivong is going to move across your screen, and they are going to hand it to Walker, as he's not going to have much, if any, as he's down at the 42-yard line. Short gain on the play.
Good job of that Blackman defensive line, interior defensive line, closing up those gaps and not allowing him to get anything big.
Yes, indeed. 2nd and 9 here. 3.5 minutes to go here in the third quarter. As, yeah, Zach, you talked about discipline a lot in the first half, and there on that third down, you saw a lack of it there again from the Blaze.
Well, Stewarts Creek, again, with Walker, the drives are numbered right now. There's very limited drives remaining in this game. So if you're Blackman, you have to take advantage of every possession you can. That's ball is fumble.
Another fumble on the field. That slippery surface of the pigskin tonight is having more and more of an impact as the rain has settled down a little bit, but you're still feeling the slipperiness of the ball there. Even on the snap, you saw Hoover miss like he fumbled it a little bit, and then on the handoff, it didn't go cleanly either.
That was a bad snap, as Hoover had to reach out with one hand to grab it. But when he handed it off to Munavang did a good job of diving on it and getting actually a yard.
Making positive yardage out of a broken play. Yes, absolutely. Third down here for the Redhawks. As they look to the sideline for a change of play here. Hoover takes the snap. He's going to hand it to Walker going up the left side. There's a flag in the backfield. We'll see what this one comes back to, as Walker's going to creep his way up towards the midfield mark, and he's going to lose his helmet on the play as well over on the Blaze sideline.
As I think this may be, yeah.
This is a holding against the offense. It's going to come back.
Yeah, so you do accept this penalty if you're Stewarts Creek, because they were at a 4th and about 2 to 3 yard situation. If you don't accept that, and if you decline that, then there's a chance that Stewarts Creek goes for it.
Third down here inside the 40-yard line, still in Stewarts Creek territory. We'll call it at the 37-yard line. Excuse me, the 38-yard line. Officials will discuss here. But, yeah, Zach, talking about the discipline of the Blaze, just a lack thereof here early on in the second half, and we've seen it cost them.
Well, now look at it. Stewarts Creek has has basically had the ball this whole third quarter, and there's only been 3 total drives. Their first touchdown drive, Blackman's drive, and now their drive right here. If you're Blackman, you have to get a stop here. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Because if you don't get a stop here, or you do another penalty, then that is another 2 to 3 minutes that they're just going to run off the clock.
And if the Redhawks do convert here, they will be across the midfield mark, which means they will be inside enemy territory, which means they'll be in range for their field goal kicker, who's got quite the leg on him. As the officials were waiting on the official signal, it looks like
they declined it. They changed their mind, and they are going to decline it.
Coach is out of the sideline as he's almost to the numbers here. Coach for the Redhawks, that is.
I think they may have gotten that spot wrong.
Officials, a bad spot by the officials, and the Coach Cottle of the Redhawks calls them on it. And now it'll be 4th down at the 43-yard line. A lot of miscommunication here. Don't really know what happened, but we do have a 4th down and long here as the punt formation comes out for the Redhawks.
At the end of the day, I think they called a holding and it was declined. That's all we know.
Something happened in there, but yeah, those two things did happen, so let's go with that. As the punt is away, and it is a boot, and it is going to be fielded cleanly at the 10-yard line, but gosh, what a kick.
And the Stewarts Creek coaching staff is going berserk on the sidelines, as it looks like the man that was rushing the punter there made contact and took him out. Benafont out.
Looking for a roughing the kicker call, it seems, and they are not going to get it as the Blaze have the ball 1st down and 10 at the 10-yard line. Either way, they won the field position battle. They're pinned back deep. And if you're Stewarts Creek here, you're thinking if we make a stop here, we're in control of this game.
Yeah, right now they are in control of this game. Even if so right now if you're Stewarts Creek, if you force Blackman to a 7-8 minute drive, then you have a chance to get the last possession of the game.
As it's going to be a wide receiver screen set up to the near sideline, and he's going to miss the first tackle. That's Brown getting involved again as he's going to move that one out across the 30-yard line. They'll mark it down at the 32. As he missed the official's signal there for the pass, he was wanting to get it to him after the play. There's a late flag down on the field now. It looks like it's going to be a personal foul, a unnecessary roughness against the Blaze, and it is going to be a first. They are going to replay 1st down, but they'll respot the ball here as it's going to come back inside the 10-yard line now.
I don't know what happened, but it looks like the Blackman guy, Brown was hit late as well on the sideline. That very easily could have been offsetting after the play.
Excuse me, it was after the play was over, so they'll take it from the in spot, and now it'll be at the 17-yard line where they'll replay 1st down. They need the 27-yard line here on 1st down and 10. As he drops back, it's Thomas, and he's going to send it over to the 40-yard line where he just overthrows his man. I believe it was Marshall. Yes, it was. He overthrows Marshall on the play. Incomplete, 2nd down and 10.
Marshall had a chance at that one. Well, they had a chance for a big connection there because Marshall had a step or two on his defender and was breaking free as soon as that pass was getting there.
Reisner back in the quarterback spot here for the Blaze as he takes the snap and he hands it off to Pleasant in the backfield, and he's going to try and slip a tackle, but it's not going to happen as he's brought down in the backfield. We'll call it the 10-yard line. It's going to set up a 3rd and long as we're closing in on the 1-minute mark here in the 3rd quarter.
So right there, that was a delayed halfback misdirection towards Pleasant. Reisner ran to his right, handed off to Pleasant back to the outside. But that was a good job of reading the play by number 51, Nathan Fesserath.
Reisner takes the snap here on 3rd and long, and he's going to air it out as he looks and throws over the head of Brown once again. Brown shaking his head in disbelief there as that ball lands at the 50-yard line, and it'll be another 3 and out for the Blaze.
Now, Stewarts Creek did what they had to do. They held them, and now they're going to have very good field position.
They have been winning the field position battle early, whether it be causing penalties on the defensive end or their defense taking advantage of opportunities and setting up their offense in a great spot. We'll see if Reisner can pin him back deep here as he's set for the punt. Good snap, good hold. Kick is up and away, and it's going to be fielded at about the 48-yard line of the Blaze, where the Red Hawks will take over again. And on their past 3 drives now, they've been effective and been able to score and capitalize. We'll be back with the Blaze drive. We'll see if they can answer here on the MTN Sports Game of the Week on the NFHS Network.
Here at MTN Sports, you could say we're a bit competitive.
All right, boys, I got a media pass for the big game this weekend. Who's covering it?
6 feet far. Fight! 1, 2, 3, 4,
Let me guess. Who's shooting this weekend? The funny thing is, I've got 2. Oh! I'm going to that game.
Back here on the NFHS Network with the MTN Sports Game of the Week.
As
the Red Hawks pick up the first down on the Walker run. Started at the 48-yard line. We brought you back in the middle of the play here, and it's going to get down inside the 25-yard line, down to about the 22. And the Red Hawk crowd and the Red Hawk band over there, they're going crazy after that huge play.
Yes, they are. That was another good run by Walker. Once Walker sees a hole, he is almost impossible to bring down.
Impossible to bring down indeed, as the Blaze have been struggling with him all night long as he's back to take the snap here on first down. Couple men in motion for the Red Hawks as Walker does take the snap, and it looks like there's going to be a flag on the play.
There's going to be an encroachment.
Encroachment call on the Blaze, and the Red Hawks will walk it up here. It'll be a first down and 5 now at the 18-yard line. First and 5 for the Red Hawks, so if you're the Blaze, you're backed up deep in your own territory now with the Red Hawks looking to strike again. They're in danger of this becoming a 3-possession game here, as a touchdown would put them up by 17. Walker takes the direct snap again, and he runs it right up the middle for another Red Hawks touchdown. Wow. Walker is running all over this defense right now, left and right, whether he's getting the handoff or he's taking the snap directly. The Blaze have no answer for him late here in the second half.
They don't, and again, as we were talking about earlier in the game, those 3, 4, 5-yard carries are going to go 16, 17, 18 yards in the third and fourth quarters. And that's what they are doing. Now, this is a very big, are they going to go? Yeah, this is a very big extra point attempt. If they miss this, then it's still a 2-possession game.
Still a 2-possession game. Extra point pending, though, as Belenfant gets it up and good for the Red Hawks, as that now does make this a 3-possession game. So huge extra point there, and the special teams unit continues to deliver for the Red Hawks.
And now this Baby Blaze team, again, we've said this multiple times tonight, how are they going to react? They've lost 2 in a row, and now they are on the verge of losing their 3rd straight game. Brown and Reisner are going to have to start connecting. If you are Thomas, you're going to have to start doing that. Payton magic that we saw in that first game, that ability to take that hit, wait in the pocket just long enough, and then find that open man, be able to dance around in the backfield. If you are Pleasant, you have got to start hitting those holes harder. You're being a little bit too hesitant right now. But if you want to get back in this game, you have to score very quick because, again, this Stewarts Creek offense, they can control this ball for 6-7 minutes at a time.
It's homecoming night here for the Blaze, so they are not out of it yet. Look for them to answer here. We're going to see if they have any of that, like you said, Zach, that Peyton magic left in them as they're set to return the kick here. So it's going to be through the back of the end zone once again by Bellenfont, and they'll set up 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. All right, here we go. It's make or break it time for this Blaze offense.
Yes, this is a must-score drive. You have to score quick, almost 3 or 4 minutes.
If you're Coach Tygart here, what are you saying in that huddle when you're talking to your offense?
It's guys, hey, we just have to start communicating. The men are getting open. There have been great play designs where you see wide receivers such as Brown running wide open. They just haven't been able to connect. And Reisner and Thomas look like they are rushing their throws right now. So if they can just take a deep breath, and then I think
Reisner and Pleasant in the backfield as Reisner drops back to throw, and he is going to send one way downfield, and it's going to be dropped. Wow, he had it, and even if he just would have kept his eyes up, it looked like he had it again, as that was number 8, James Hayes, on the play. But wow, what a throw by Reisner. He had him, and he had him in stride too, Zach.
Haynes could have ran all the way to the firehouse with that one. There was no one back there. He had outran the defense. He had done the hard part. He ran a deep post route, and Reisner put that ball on the money. There's nothing Reisner could have done better. But now, can they keep their heads up and do something and actually keep that ball moving? Because that was a big play opportunity.
We're going to see Reisner drop back into the wide-out position, and he's going to catch the wide receiver screen, but then he's going to air it out to throw across the 30-yard line, where he's got it across the 35-yard line, almost up to the 40-yard line, and guess who? It's Justin Brown getting involved again.
Again, that was those laterals from Thomas to Reisner. Reisner then threw it deep to Brown, and now they're going to get one more play off before the half. It looks like before the quarter ends. It looks like
Reisner brings Thomas across, and he's going to air it out again, as it's going to be caught at the 40-yard line, and he's out to the midfield mark where he's almost going to have enough for the first down.
I think
we'll call it a 2nd and 1. We'll see what the official if the official gives the signal. From where they're spotting it, it looks like it's going to be just short, as that's going to take us to a quarter break here. That's going to wrap up things in the third quarter, as Stewarts Creek now, after coming into the half leading 24-21, puts up 14 unanswered, as now the Creek leads 38-21 here. This is the MTN Sports Game of the Week. We'll be back with fourth quarter action on the NFHS Network.
Nothing is more expensive than a missed opportunity that could have changed your life. Maybe you're just graduating high school, or are working and need to earn a degree to advance your career. Or you aspire to be a leader, and a graduate degree can make that happen. Whether you're just starting out or retooling for the future, Middle Tennessee State University.
Welcome back to the MTN Sports Game of the Week here on the NFHS Network. We're back here in the Inferno as the Blaze come out with some trickery. Peyton Thomas stays on his feet. He stumbles just a little bit, but he's going to get way down inside the 5-yard line. Official's going to mark him at the 2-yard line. Zach, what happened there?
There we go. That is that classic hook and ladder play. You had, I think it was Brown go 15, 20 yards down the field. Reisner tossed it out to Brown, and then when Brown had the defense converge on him, he tossed it back to Thomas, and Thomas had all day to run.
Reisner's going to bring it with some tempo here as they're going to hand it to Pleasant, and is he going to have enough? The second effort, it looks like the offensive line is going to drag him in.
He's
Will
a
he
yard
have enough?
in short.
They are going to call it short. They're going to call it down at the half-yard line. 11:45 to go here. If you're the Blaze, you got to keep moving with tempo, though. You're down by a lot. And you know this Creek offense can hold the ball for extensive periods of time like you were talking about. But, wow, Zach, on that previous play, you saw Justin Brown. Talk about the concentration you have to make that pitch as you're being tackled.
Yeah, that's one of those plays where you work on in practice, and that was just perfectly executed there from Brown to Thomas. As that ball is literally at the inch line.
Watch the man on the bottom of your screen here as Reisner's going to air it out, and he's going to have Ben Marshall for the Blaze touchdown. Ben Marshall again coming up huge. They crowned him earlier, and that time they raised him to the heavens as he has been huge for the Blaze offense tonight.
The most reliable target so far the two targets have been Marshall and they've been Brown. And you saw those have two big plays that drive. And now all of a sudden, the Blaze are back in this game.
27-38. Here is the Blaze battle back here in the Inferno on homecoming night. They want it, and they want it bad, and we're seeing that here in the fourth quarter. Extra point pending. It'll be a 10-point game with 10:45 to go here in the fourth quarter. Snap, hold, kick is good. 10-point game here on homecoming night at the Inferno. And we're going to see if the Blaze offense now, sparked by that huge drive from the offense, they got to stay on the sideline for a little bit longer. And now we're going to see if they can answer here defensively, as we'll be back with more fourth quarter action here. Region 4 6 single A action here on homecoming night. It's the MTN Sports Game of the Week on the NFHS Network.
Nothing is more expensive than a missed opportunity that could have changed your life. Maybe you're just graduating high school, or are working and need to earn a degree to advance your career. Or you aspire to be a leader, and a graduate degree can make that happen. Whether you're just starting out or retooling.
And we are back here on the NFHS Network with the MTN Sports Game of the Week. The Blaze are set to kick off here, as it's going to be an onside kick, but it's going to go a little bit longer than the Blaze would have wanted it to. They're not going to get a great bounce with the wet turf. It's going to bounce at the 45-yard line where the Redhawks are going to recover it and have great field position again here as they control this game early on in the fourth quarter.
Now, I couldn't see who kicked it, but I think that might have been Alex Bigelow. So, Alex Bigelow right there, he was aiming for one of those front men to try and kick it so hard that it bounces off of their chest, maybe bounces off the ground, bounces off their chest, creates a bunch of chaos. But that just didn't happen. But now, Blackman's defense, your offense came out, and they gave you a chance in this one. You have to stop them here. 3 and out would be ideal, but you cannot give up 2 first downs this drive.
You have to get the ball back, and you have to get it in a hurry as Walker takes the direct snap, and he shreds through the Blaze defense again as he's down deep into Blaze territory inside the 35-yard line at the 34 with 10 minutes and 45 seconds to go here in the fourth quarter.
And that A-gap right there was wide open for Walker just to run through. And, again, he isn't getting touched right now until he is in the secondary, until he is past that initial front 7.
On those first couple plays coming back from the break in the third quarter, we saw the Blaze defense stand up to Walker, but ever since then, it's been all Walker and all Stewarts Creek ground game in the second half.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
1st and 10 here for the Redhawks as they are going to take their time getting up to the line as they are milking this clock here just inside the 35-yard line as we're closing in on the 10-minute mark now as the Blaze defense tries to regroup and try and stop Walker as he's again going to take the direct snap and shed that first wave of defenders and get inside the 20, shed another block down to the 10 inside the 5-yard line. They'll mark him down at the 6. Wow, what a force.
It can't take one guy to bring him down. It takes multiple guys to bring him down. As you saw right there, He broke 3 solo tackles from Walker. Walker broke 3 solo tackles, excuse me.
No, you're good. First and goal here at the 6-yard line for the Redhawks as they look to extend this lead once again. They held the 17-point lead. It got cut down to 10 by Blackman after a couple great Justin Brown connections there, but now the Stewarts Creek Redhawks look to expand the lead once again. It is 1st and 10, and we haven't seen the quarterback for the Redhawks in about 4 plays as Walker, it's been all Walker all night long as he gets the sideline and he's going to walk it in on the left side. It's all Walker all night long here in the Inferno as the Redhawks touchdown is going to extend the lead to 44-28.
Well, you saw Hoover right there. Hoover was at the top of your screen, and he did the perfect block to allow that huge gap for Walker just to cut back and in. And now all of a sudden, all that momentum that Blackman just had, it's gone. It's out the window.
It's all Redhawks here in Blaze Country as they look to make this a 45-28 game. Extra point is up and good. 45-28 at the 8:55 mark here in the 4th quarter. We'll be back with more on the MTN Sports Game of the Week here on the NFHS Network.
Nothing is more expensive than a missed opportunity that could have changed your life. Maybe you're just graduating high school or are working and need to earn a degree to advance your career.
Back here on the MTN Sports Game of the Week on the NFHS Network. It has been all Redhawks here in the second half as we close in, as we're just inside the 9-minute mark here in the 4th quarter. Belenfont's kick is up, and it's going to be through the back of the end zone once again. Never would have seen that one coming. As it'll be another touchback, and the Blaze will bring it out to the 20-yard line. I feel like I've been saying that all night long here, especially in the second half, Zach.
Yeah, you've said it 7 times already tonight, 8 times already tonight, including the opening kickoff. This Stewarts Creek offense is just unstoppable right now. They've been able to control the tempo. They've been able to control the pace. Behind Gabriel Walker, they have just been able to basically just dominate the front 7 of Blackman. That the Stewarts Creek offensive line has opened up holes, and the gaps are just wide open right now.
Reisner fakes the handoff to Thomas, and he's going to air it out to Thomas as he goes down on the play, and Thomas is going to be hit hard at the line of scrimmage, and he's going to gain only 1, 2nd and 9 at the 21-yard line.
There needs to be a sense of urgency right here from Blackman. Their drives are limited, like we said last time.
You're starting to see that kind of deflated look as they're not in such a hurry to get back to the line. 2nd and 9 here from the 21. As Reisner throws out to the near sideline, complete and to Brown, and he's going to bring that out to the 30-yard line before stepping out of bounds. Will he have enough for the first down?
He will.
Yes, he will. They're going to move the chains. 1st and 10 for the Blaze.
But again, what Stewarts Creek's doing right now is they're keeping everything in front of them, not letting any big plays happen that goes behind them. Besides, that's incomplete.
That is going to be incomplete as Marshall steps out of bounds on the catch. Beautiful throw, though, just a little outside the turf there.
Marshall just didn't know where he was on the field.
Didn't know where he was, but wow. Even through the storm that the Blaze have tried to battle through tonight, Ben Marshall has been very impressive in tonight's outing.
He has. He's been everywhere. Like we said in the first half, he's finding those open slots in the zone.
Thomas moves from right to left, and he's going to fake the handoff to him, and Reisner's going to air it out, and it's going to be incomplete. Will we get a flag on this play? It looked like it could go either way, and Brown's not going to get the call here. It's going to be 3rd down and 10, excuse me, at the 30-yard line. of the Blaze.
Again, 3rd and long. This is 4-down territory for Blackman, so maybe look for a 5 or 6 yard slant or something. As you're seeing, I think that's around the top of your screen. They're playing 6-7 yards off of him.
Reisner's going to drop back to throw here on the bottom of your screen, and he's going to have it complete.
That is going to be a first down.
For a first down as he gets it out to the 45-yard line to Jalen Pleasant, the running back, coming out of the ground game and making his way into the air attack now.
It looked like that was more of a wheel route there from Pleasant, and Pleasant was able to get that right foot in bounds before stepping out.
Reisner drops back to throw here on first down. He's going to set up the wide receiver screen, and that's going to get blown up at the 45-yard line. We'll call it a gain of about 1 on the play. 2nd down and 9 from the 46-yard line.
Good pursuit there by the secondary from Stewarts Creek, not letting Pleasant get any extra yards and keeping him up and in bounds.
Pleasant lines up on the left hip of Reisner, who drops back to throw, and he's got his man Brown across midfield inside the 45-yard line, and he gets out of bounds to stop the clock inside the 8-minute mark here in the 4th quarter as the Blaze are on the strike now as they enter Red Hawk territory. 1st and 10 for the Blaze. Reisner drops back to throw. He sends Marshall from left to right across your screen. Drops back to throw. And he's going to have his man. What a throw, what a catch. And he's going to walk it right up the middle of this Red Hawks defense and get it deep into enemy territory. Deep as in the 1-yard line. And on the catch, that was Demicah Dowdy.
That was Dowdy right there running straight through the seam. And Reisner put it right on the money where Demicah Dowdy didn't have to even break stride. But now they need to score here.
They need to score, and they need to score in a hurry. He's going to pitch it out to Pleasant and beautifully ran. Touchdown for the Blaze.
Okay, now Blackman, they're going to kick this extra point. And are they going to try for another onside kick?
Don't consider them out of it yet. And yes, while they could go for the onside kick, we saw how that worked out last time. They set up Stewarts Creek with great field position, and they were still able to take a lot of time off the clock with Walker lining up in that quarterback spot for those direct snaps. It'll be interesting to see how Coach Tygard and this Blaze coaching staff handles this as extra point pending now. Snap, hold, kick is up and good. We're back to a 10-point game here with 7:59 to go in the 4th quarter of action on homecoming night here for the Blaze.
Yes, so right now they are probably going to have to onside it. But if you're Blackman, you needed another turnover from your defense, a forced turnover from the defense, because right now you aren't able to stop Walker. So maybe look for them to, if Walker is up, look for 2 or 3 guys to come in like they have all night and try to strip the ball from him. Walker is a very, very, very strong running back. So, but if you're able to get maybe just a fumble, or it's again a wet night, very wet field, as we saw multiple times 2 drives ago with Stewarts Creek, they were fumbling the ball around.
Zach, what does the Blaze defense have to do here to stop Walker? What's the big thing that you're seeing that they're not doing, that they're not executing?
I mean,
I guess I should ask, what aren't they doing right? I don't know.
Maybe they need to shoot the gaps better. They are doing a bad. The holes are being wide open for Walker to run through. The A gaps, the B gaps, the C gap, whatever gap you want, whatever gap that Walker wants right now, it's 5, 6 yards wide, 2, 3, 4, 5 yards before someone even.
Here goes the kick for the Blaze as they are going to get a good bounce there. We're going to see who comes up with it. And it looks like the Red Hawks fall on top of it. Wow, they had a huge opportunity. They got the bounce that they wanted, and the Blaze were just not able to collapse on that football. That was close, though.
And it looked like that was number 11.
It was a great kick from the Blaze kicker. Yes, that was Kayvon Henderson there on the kick.
No. It was KJ Moss that KJ Moss was one that knocked up in the air. I think that was actually Evan Russell that kicked it.
Excuse me, yes. Evan Russell.
Yes, the brother of Mason Russell, who Mason Russell is right now at that nose tackle position on your screen.
1st and 10 here for the Red Hawks at the 37-yard line. As now they'll try and run this clock down, and we've seen them have those 5, 6, 7-minute possessions. We'll see if the Blaze defense answers. Fumble on the play as the snap is bobbled, but then Walker able to turn these bad snaps into positive plays, and we've seen it happen all night. It's very unorthodox, but it's working, and they just keep going back to it. And whether it's intentional or not, I don't know, but it's working for the Redhawks here late.
Again, sometimes on those broken plays, that is when you get the defense out of the lanes that they're supposed to be rushing in. For instance, you saw Kayvon Henderson right there. As soon as that ball went down, fumbled, he was trying to go for the ball. And when Walker picked it up, Henderson no longer had the angle on him. So Walker was able to get to the outside of him and get 5 yards, 6, 7 yards. Again, if Blackman can get a stop here and force a punt, then they have all 3 timeouts left.
It's going to be a second and about 5 to go here for the Redhawks as Walker lines up to take the direct snap, and he does just that. Nobody behind him. He's very much one-dimensional. You know when he's running with it, and the Blaze all night long have not been able to stop that, but there, for one of the few times they do, it'll set up a 3rd down and short. We'll call it a 3rd down and 4 from the 47-yard line.
They're going to measure it. That is very, very close. We can't tell from where we are.
It looks like the ball is behind the 47-yard mark, and the chain is just out in front of it. It's inches, if any. But we'll see what happens when they bring the chains out here.
It would almost be better if you're Blackman if they do get this 1st down.
They'll stretch it, and it's going to be just short, inches short. Maybe even an inch short. Very manageable for Walker here on 3rd down, but we'll see if the Blaze defense can stand up strong here. They need this stop. Now, Zach, what were you saying just a minute ago about the Blaze maybe wanting the conversion here?
Yeah, so if they were to get that 1st down, yes, it would have again taken off a minute, 2 minutes. But when this very inch short situation, if they get this, and they're going to run an extra 40 seconds off of those others. So it may have been better if they just went ahead and gave, as they are. Yes, 3rd down in inches. They were clarifying the down. So it may just been better to go ahead and maybe kind of hope they got the 1st down, but now maybe look for a 0 blitz. You have nothing to lose at this point.
The PA announcer says 3rd down in inches. We're going to call it 3rd down in an inch, as we saw how close it is going to be as the Redhawks offense comes to the line here slowly but surely. There they come. And guess who? It's Walker back there on his own in the backfield, and he's going to run this straight ahead, it looks like. He is, and we'll see if he has enough for it.
He didn't get it.
They're going to stop him. Will the second effort be enough? No, it will not. He's going to get back to the 46, but not the 47, as it's going to be a 4th down stop here, or a 3rd down stop here to set up a 4th down for the Blaze. Now, do you use your timeout here if you're Blackman?
No, you do not use your timeout because you're going to need them for the next possession. And plus, it looks like Stewarts Creek, they're going to keep their offense on the field, and they're going to go for this on 4th and 1.
6 minutes to go here in the 4th quarter as the Redhawks do take their time coming up to the line here again. The Redhawks coaching staff playing this very smart and very slow here late in the game as they're managing this clock, managing this lead, because even still with a 10-point lead, they don't want to give it back to this Blaze offense when they know they're getting hot.
Definitely. It's going to be more of the same. It's going to be you're going to have Gabriel Walker in the backfield, and that front 4 that you have of Mason Russell, Kayvon Henderson, they are going to have to stand up. When you have C.J. Steele, you're going to have to get in that backfield, and you're going to have to force, as Stewarts Creek can run the clock down to 1 and then call that timeout, but they are going to have to get in the backfield and hit him in the backfield.
5.5 minutes to go here, 5:21 to go here in the Inferno. It's homecoming night here for Blackman. As you all know, lots of homecoming festivities and stuff going on at halftime. It's been great to have Blackman host us for, is this the 3rd time that they've hosted us this year now? 3rd time that they have hosted us here now on the NFHS network, as we've made them the MTN Game of the Week here. Our host, beautiful field here at Blackman. The fans have been rowdy. The student section has been alive. But, wow, the creek has come in and taken them to town a little bit here in the second half. I say the Creek, it's really just been Walker, number 21, out of the backfield for the Red Hawks.
Again, it was 24-21 at halftime. If Blackman can force a stop here, then that 17-point, that 17-point swing that Stewart Creek had at the end of the first half to the beginning of the second half, is actually the big difference right now.
It is a big difference. And late in the first half, you were talking about that 10-point swing, and we're right back to it here. As you can see,
Blackman called a timeout.
Blackman was forced to call a timeout. It looked like the coaching staff down at the 50-yard line was trying to communicate something to his defense, and it wasn't coming across. Forced to call the timeout late here. 5:19 to go in the fourth quarter of action. It's a 10-point game. Zach, as we were talking about, that first half swing that you were talking about late in the second quarter, there was a 10-point swing, and now we're seeing the same thing here again at the 35-45 mark.
Yes, so you were saying that 10-point swing, but that was the 10 points that they scored before halftime. Stewarts Creek went down, scored a touchdown with about 2 minutes to go, and then forced a 3-and-out on 3 plays from Blackman, went down, got a field goal as time expired, and there was that 15-yard penalty, let's not forget, that got on the field goal try, that got him 15 yards closer and made it a 40 instead of a 55-yard field goal. And then at the start of the second half, Stewarts Creek went down and scored a touchdown. They scored 17 straight points here.
17 unanswered in the Inferno for the Red Hawks to help build them up to this 45-35 lead. It's 4th down and a yard at the 46-yard line of the Red Hawks, and they are going to come out with their quarterback, and they're going to hand it to Walker, and he's going to pound it up the middle. Is he going to have enough for it? By the way the officials are marking it, they're going to mark him short. If where the official walked from the top of your screen, if that spot is correct, then they are going to mark him short. There's a lot of traffic in front of the football right now. Hands are going up for both teams as they're pointing in both directions.
That's going to be a first down.
That spot was a little bit different than what we saw just a minute ago. We'll see where they mark it. It is right on the 47-yard line.
Yes, and the white cap has already given the first down. But wow.
And they've moved the chains. Wow, yeah. Wow is correct, as it looked like that spot that spot was up in the air up until they cleared the traffic from midfield. But
it looked like it was a pretty good spot.
Regardless, it's 1st and 10 for the Red Hawks here at the 47-yard line as Walker takes the direct snap again, and he's going to run it up to the right side, and he's going to pound his way through Blaze defenders again. Wow. Very impressive outing from Walker, and he continues to show no signs of slowing down late in this one as he gets the first down for the Red Hawks.
And they just keep giving the ball time after time after time, and Blackman just can't stop it. Again, he had 36 carries for 18 carries for 219 yards and 4 touchdowns last week.
Don't have the exact number from here tonight, but I imagine he's closing in on that 200-yard mark again here. He's over the 100-yard mark for sure.
I'd probably go with maybe around 300.
You think he's over the 200 mark already?
I think he's over the 200 mark.
Well, there you go. You heard it here first, folks. 1st and 10 for the Red Hawks here inside the 40-yard line as Walker is taken down at the 38-yard line as we close in on the 3.5-minute mark here to go in the Inferno.
And this time is just ticking away. After this play, you're going to have to call a timeout if you're Blackman. And that's what we've seen.
And if you don't get the stop here on this set of downs, if they get the first down here the way that the Red Hawks are managing the clock, they could take this all the way down to the 0 mark.
They could. They definitely could. As you're seeing the Blackman defense right there, they have to stand up here.
They have to make a stand if they want any kind of chance of getting back into this one late. And they're going to call this play dead before the snap. And the Red Hawks are pointing in the
encroachment
direction of the Blaze as we do have an encroachment. So that's going to make this now a 2nd and short for the Red Hawks. Just inside the 35 at the 33-yard line. Two and a half minutes to go here in the 4th quarter of action, as the Red Hawks are trying to hold on to this lead. And like we said, Zach, if they get this first down here, it's pretty much all but over, as the Blaze have now started to use their timeouts.
I think they're putting the clock back up to 2:50. Yeah, so that was what the communication was between the line judge and the official. As Blackman's coach's door is just slammed. That was something.
Second and 5 to go here for the Red Hawks. Holding a 45-35 lead. He's going to send a man in motion, and he's going to hand it off to him, going up to the left side. And they're just going to keep on trying to milk this clock, but the Blaze swarm on him, as that was number 26 that time for the Red Hawks.
That's Odie.
Yeah, Javarian Odie, who we've seen be great backing up Walker here tonight, and we've also seen him have an impact in the air attack as well for the Red Hawks. The limited air attack, but an effective one nonetheless.
Odie is more of a change of pace back, as you had Walker, who's a bruiser. He's going to run it at you, and you know what's coming. Odie is more of I'm going to see if I can hit this hole, and when I do, I'm more of a shifty type of running back.
2 minutes to go here in the 4th quarter, as the Red Hawks line up. 3rd down and about 4. They're going to fake the handoff, and the quarterback's going to keep it, and he's not going to have enough for the turnover for the conversion, as the Blaze swarm on him in the backfield.
And that is the timeout from Blackman. So yes, with 1:31 to go in the game, their 2nd timeout.
And they've done a good job of managing the clock now here and forcing the Red Hawks to a 4th down now. And now it'll be interesting to see what they do, because now it's not 4th and an inch, it's not 4th and a yard, now it's 4th and a bunch after that loss on 3rd down.
I think they have to take the points here. Go up by 2 touchdowns, because if you don't get it here, so if you get a first down here, the game's over. You are almost 3 knees away from heading back to the other side of Murfreesboro with the win. But
it looks like he's still got the offensive unit out there on the field, though, in the huddle, and that looks like that's who they're going to field for this 4th down play.
I guess I was wrong.
Well, I'm not going to speak too soon. I'm not going to bet against you here. I'm just going off of what I'm looking at, Zach.
No, you're fine. Stewarts Creek came in here tonight so far. They've done what they had to do to get their first ever win against Blackman.
Coming into this one, they were 0-4 against the Blaze, and for a 7-year stretch, the Stewarts Creek, being a new school that came into play in the year 2014, the 2014 school year, they started out in the Blaze's division in the 6A Region 4, but then they dropped out for that 7-year stretch, and now this is the first year that they're playing the Blaze as a regional opponent. As on 4th down, the Red Hawks drop the pass, and it'll be a turnover. It'll be Blaze ball with 1 minute and 27 seconds to go here in the game.
So you were right, they did go for it, which I find is kind of a shocker, because you could take 3 points and make it to where you have to score 2 touchdowns.
And if you are the Red Hawks defense right now, you're saying, okay, Coach Cottle's got the defense, got the confidence in us. We got to go out here and make a stand.
Here, if you are,
they're trying to put the nail in the coffin here in this one.
If you're Stewarts Creek's defense right here, and you're a Red Hawk, you're playing 5, 6, 7 yards off, as you're seeing at the bottom of your screen as they are on Pleasant, because you are not letting anything get behind you. Everything is in front of you, and you're going to come up and you're going to make the tackle. Yes, they may score a touchdown, as there is.
The flag on the play in this one would be marked dead before the snap. as it looks like it's going to be.
There's no flag on the play.
They are going to take the flag off the field. They're going to pick it up, and it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Blaze once again here. Reisner alone in the backfield as he's got 4 wide receivers in a box shape on the top of your screen, and he's going to air it out to guess who? It's Ben Marshall, the tight end, and he's going to get out of bounds to stop the clock at the 49-yard line. Great play, great execution, way to get out of bounds there.
Yes, but they spent 5, 6, 7 seconds on that, and
here we go.
Yes.
It's the same shape again on the bottom of your screen, so it's the same play just flipped. We'll see if they go to the same target here. As Reisner's looking, and he's going to air it out. Yes, and it's dropped by Marshall. But, yes, they were going for the same look. They just flipped sides of the field, but they tried to go back to Marshall on 2 plays in a row. And that's his first drop on the night. He's been very effective, had a huge impact, but they needed him there, and he drops the easy completion.
Yes, so good throw. Reisner threw it before Marshall was out of his even broke.
But if you're looking at the positives for Blackman, clock's not moving, and he probably would have been tackled in bounds there.
That's true. That's true.
Reisner fakes the handoff to Thomas, and then he's going to throw it out to Thomas, who's across midfield now down to the 40-yard line, where he'll get out of bounds. Great clock management here for the Blaze late, but is it too late, Zach?
I'm never going to say anything's too late when there's time on the clock, especially with what we see in high school football, especially after that last onside, which Blackman almost recovered.
Just inside the 40-yard line here for the Blaze as they move into Red Hawk territory, and there's the quarterback shift again as Thomas moves into the backfield, and Reisner at the top of your screen, and it's gonna be a pitch to a pass here, as we've seen all night long, and Reisner's gonna have to get rid of it as he is clobbered in the backfield, 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage. That could have been bad.
That really could have, but good job of Reisner sitting in there, waiting for the play to develop. And when it did develop, he just got rid of it.
And there you saw him. He had to shake it off, not only that huge hit, but the dampness from the wet turf.
Yes.
As we saw that have an impact early on in the second half. The rain has let up here, thankfully, on homecoming night here in the Inferno. 1st down for Blackman as they air it out over the middle, and he's got his man, and he's going to be hit hard, but Pleasant holds on to it anyway for a 1st down on the play as they move inside the 1-minute mark here, 57 seconds to go, and the Blaze are going to take a timeout. As that's going to be a huge pickup of about 20, as they're going to say put 57 seconds on the clock.
It would be interesting to see if Pleasant actually went down, because he took the big hit, but I don't know if I saw it.
He had every bit of confidence thinking he didn't go down on that one. He got up and kept running with it.
But that was a big-time catch there from Pleasant, because he took a lick as soon as he turned. And it takes a big-time player to make a catch like that.
Reisner lines up with Pleasant on his right hip, and it's going to be fumbled in the backfield, dropped, and it looks like the Red Hawks are going to come up with it.
And that is the game. That's going to be the game.
That is going to be the game, and what a heartbreaker for the Blaze here, even with that last little bit of life in them.
Stewarts Creek came into the Inferno, and they are going out with their first ever win and a 1-1 conference record, the district record.
Their first district win on the year, as they started out 0-1, and now they're going to go to 1-1. And Zach, as you talked about, in the district competition for the the Division 4 6A region, this was a must-win for both of these teams tonight.
Definitely. Now Blackman plays again next week at home, but they have dropped 2 of their home district games, their home region games.
As that's going to be the first of 2 knees for Stewarts Creek here. They're going to need one more as they're inside the 40-second mark. Yes, and you talked about Blackman coming home next week again. That is their last home game on the season. What people need to understand is Blackman's last 4 games of the year are going to be on the road and in hostile territory, and they needed to capitalize. And Coach Tygart told us earlier this week they were looking to gain momentum with their last 2 home games here in the Inferno, unable to do that here tonight, but it makes it even more important for them to do that next week at their last home game of the season.
This next week is a must-win for Blackman. But look what we saw today. As you see both teams lining up, we saw two very different strategies. You saw the fun and gun of Blackman, and they came off to a very fast start. And then once Stewarts Creek started settling just a little bit, came back and scored those 17 straight points. That is when Stewarts Creek really got into their rhythm, where they are more of that ground and pound team, and they're going to control the tempo and they're going to control the pace, and you're going to go on their terms. And that is what we saw tonight.
There's the flags waving for SCHS. That's my alma mater. Got to give them a quick shout out. Proud Red Hawk up here in the broadcast booth tonight. But yes, what a win here for Stewarts Creek. Down early, but then they battled back. They stayed in it. And then Walker, the running back for the Red Hawks, takes over in the second half here for Stewarts Creek. And what a huge win for Coach Cottle. We talked about just the stakes coming into this game. His team looked disciplined in the second half, and as this game went on, we just saw them take over this game through the run game and just look more and more in control as the game went on.
Yeah, they did. They struggled kind of early. They struggled just getting their tempo and just, running it. Walker, they did a good job. Those first 7-8 rushes for Walker was about, 20, 21, 22 yards. But then he broke one. And then you just saw that whole defense. The big change of the game was when Walker, he got about a 4-yard gain, but he stiff-armed a guy and threw him down. And you saw the sideline just erupt with energy, and that is when Stewarts Creek offense just took off.
Now, somebody that we did not talk a lot about tonight that I feel like we need to give a huge shout-out to is the O-line for the Red Hawks, because anytime you have a successful run game, you have to give some, if not a lot of the credit to your O-line. They had presence, they dominated, and they pushed the pile when they needed to, when Walker needed them to. And, again, just a huge offensive takeover for the Red Hawks here tonight in the Inferno on homecoming night for the Blaze.
Yes, definitely, because Walker, yes, he had a great night, but those holes and those gaps that were the offensive line made, they were
I heard you talking about the A, B, and C gap all night long tonight.
There was 3, 4, 5 guys could have fit through there. Walker could have walked through there and then gotten 10, 11 yards. That is how good and how dominant that offensive line was for Stewarts Creek tonight.
Once again, we just want to give a huge shout-out to the Blaze community here at Blackman High School for hosting us for the 3rd time this year. And they have just been great hosts to us, taking care of our whole broadcast team. And so we are very thankful for them hosting us here on homecoming night. And that's going to wrap it up for us here on the MTN Sports broadcast. From our whole entire broadcast team, I'm Noah Brady signing off with Zachary Lone, my broadcast partner. This has been the MTN Sports Game of the Week here on the NFHS Network as the Blaze come out short here on homecoming night and the Red Hawks take it 45-35 at the Inferno. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
Here at MTN Sports, you could say we're a bit competitive.
All right, boys, I got a media pass for the big game this weekend. Who's covering it?
6 feet far. Fight! 1, 2, 3, 4.
Let me guess. Who's shooting this weekend? The funny thing is, I've got 2.
I'm going to that game.